Hey, welcome everybody. It is the second or third annual, I don't remember, Halloween Haunt with the Great Debate Community. Yeah, it's time to tell ghost stories and talk about all those things that we never really want to talk about because most of you people don't believe in any of this stuff, but some of us actually kind of do in some ways. And this is the night when everybody can talk about it and nobody cares. So we've got the Doctor in here, we got David, we got the Immortal Army, whatever, something or other immortal, and Tony. So the link to get in is available. It is on the Great Debate Community. It will be by approval only. In other words, if you try to get in and I don't know you, you just get dismissed. So everybody's welcome to come in. We want to have a fun time tonight and avoid the trick-or-treaters because I didn't get any candy for them and I feel bad. So if you're too old to go trick-or-treating and you just don't have anything else to do, hey, come listen to the stream tonight for the Halloween Haunt with the Great Debate Community. So who wants to start this off? Doctor, you had, when we first started here, actually some pretty interesting stuff of your experiences. Let's dive into it and, yeah, just have some ghost stories. So what is your best ghost story that you had?
Well, before I dive into a ghost story, I have to say that you're never too old for free candy. My great-grandmother was 78 when she stopped trick-or-treating, and last year she went as a flasher.
And just remember this. Taking candy from a baby may be easy, but candy still is sweet.
Mm.
And by the way, I am doing this with XSplit, so the outside chat is going to have to let me know how the sound is, if they can hear everybody. I don't know. This is a very different way for me to broadcast than normal. I haven't tried this in like a year or two. So let me know how the quality is on the outside feed. Let me know if you can hear everybody in the hangout. Everybody says it's good so far. All right, take it away, Doc.
Well, I don't really know where to start because I used to live in the city of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, which has the most reported hauntings in North America per capita. And it has everything from haunted churches, haunted bridges, haunted hospitals. And I guess all of them have their own history about them. I used to give ghost tours around the city on Halloween as one of the tour guides, working with the museums. And one of my favorite places, I guess, to go would be Hans Bridge, because up here in Saskatchewan, the winter gets really, really cold in October. We already have snow on the ground, and it's snowing right now, in fact. And if you take your car to Hans Bridge, what you'll find is if you turn the engine off and just let your windows fog up, you see all these little handprints of children show up all over all the windows, your windshield, the side windows, and your back windshield. The reason for that was back in the 1900s, supposedly the RCMP, very racist at the time, would take Aboriginal kids out to Hans Bridge, beat them up, and then throw them into the river. And yes, while the RCMP were eventually arrested for that, the story goes that the ghost of the children will come by and press on the glass of your car window to try to plead for help. And you can go and do this. I've done it myself. I've done it to a number of people. We've let the windows fog up, and yeah, little handprints show up.
And what do you think the cause is?
Oh, I know what the cause is because I deliberately fabricate the cause of it.
Are you going to let us on the secret, or
He's like the Wizard of Oz.
can't pull back the curtain?
What actually causes it is it only happens to people who have had children in their cars or who would like
I know what happens. So
have
basically,
kids in their cars.
let me guess, the oil.
Kids touch everything,
Yeah,
and the oil from their hands.
Yeah, has a different
will leave
freezing temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've already figured it out there.
Science to the rescue. Well, that's what I'm wondering. You know, I think a lot of these phenomenon, obviously, I do think have scientific explanations, but there are certain things that we experience that you can't just all of a sudden attribute to something scientific if you don't know what the explanation is. Now, I don't know if we're actually warranted to jump to a supernatural cause. However, I've experienced things that it's really hard to explain. you're doing science. I mean, things that multiple people have experienced. I mean, even Ocean was talking the other day in his polytheistic group that his group has experiences. Now, you could call them maybe mass hallucinations or things like that, but it's still, when you have multiple people validating an event, it does give more attribution to it, don't you think? Or more validity, I should say.
Not necessarily.
You don't think so at all? You don't think it gives it any more realism?
One really, really cruel thing that we used to do at the end of the ghost tours is we'd take people out to the Red Deer Hill Road Red Church, where there was a priest who was killed by a mob there in the 1800s. And we tell some fabricated story about, kids riding tricycles and everything. And I'd have my brother waiting in the church with a tricycle hidden in a closet. And when I'd lead people into the rectory, he'd go out and put that into the tricycle into the aisle, attached to a fishing line, and go back and sit in the closet and just reel it in so it looks like someone is riding the tricycle. Afterwards, you get people's accounts, and a week later you get their accounts again, and you allow them to communicate with one another, and they will feed off of one another's accounts, and eventually they will all come up with this description of this small little blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy wearing coveralls and a red plaid shirt riding a tricycle in the middle of the church aisle.
Oh, I don't get no doubt things like that happen. Oh, absolutely. I think that people do feed off each other. But speaking of very scary things, hey, Heretic Woman.
Good. Hello.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, that was a compliment or an insult there.
You got a spider on your head.
Yes, I have a spider on my head.
She's a very scary person.
And I'm wearing my favorite Jack the Ripper shirt.
Like I said,
you're afraid of Canadians now, Steve?
I've always been afraid of Canadians. Who's not afraid of Canadians?
We might sorry you to death.
We're too nice. It's almost like we're planning something.
Should have been Sweeney Todd there, Heretic Woman. Should have been Sweeney Todd.
No, this shirt, actually, you might be able to tell, but I've actually taken the print from the original shirt and re-sewn it on another shirt because I like it that much. I bought that shirt in a pub called the 10 Bells in London on the Jack the Ripper walk, and that pub was the original pub where all the hoes used to hang out in Whitechapel. So very likely the actual Jack the Ripper would have stalked hookers in that pub. So
keyword is past tense.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
you've actually done ghost hunting. You actually used to be a
yes,
quote,
yes, I did.
hunter.
Yes, I did. In fact, on this trip, I've only been to London once, and that was in I think it was 1999, 98, somewhere in there. But on that trip, I did. There's a company, and they still exist. They're called London Walks, and they do walking tours in all over London of different themes and different times of day. So I also did a couple of ghost walks at that time, and one of them, I think it was the one called Ghost, Gaslight, and Guinness, which actually they still give it because somebody I know is in London right now, and I suggested the tours and whatnot. But part of that was going to what was known as a haunted pub, and I don't remember what the name of the pub was now because it was a long time ago. But the pub was supposed to be haunted, but because we were there with the tour, we got to go in the basement of the pub, which had the remnants of an old debtor's prison down there. And we got to walk around in all the old cells. And they had one that was like they stored, beer kegs and things down there. But they had one cell that was left as is. And there was like a stone bench, and they had a dummy done up on the stone bench to look like somebody sleeping down there. And it was kind of creepy. But in all my years of ghost hunting, never found a ghost. So
yeah, I mean, and if you did, how would you recognize if you did? That's my question. I mean, how would you ever get to the point where you ever say this is actually a ghost? You could never make that.
Right, exactly, and that's where a lot of wishful thinking comes into play, because you would see or experience something, and you're going, oh, well, we don't know what that is, therefore it's a ghost. Like that's basically what it boiled down to, and I got to where I was like, well, no, I can't You know, if I'm honest with myself, I'm allowing myself to consider things without evidence, and that's why I'm an atheist, and I shouldn't be doing that. And so I gave it up, and I don't believe that that's possible any longer.
One thing that I always wondered about ghosts, and when it came to like ghost hunting or investigating ghost claims, was why don't we ever see ghost cows? Why don't we ever see ghost dinosaurs or anything like that? Why is it always people?
To be a ghost, supposedly, or something?
Well, not really, because
really,
I used to have the St. Louis ghost light run through my land, and we'd have drunk teenagers come out to my farm and be like, "Hey, where's the St. Louis ghost light at?" And how can a train be a ghost?
Don't some Christians say
exactly, and there's supposed to be like ghost ships that are seen, but the thing is, so there's different types of ghosts that people profess could exist, and one of them is considered to be type of a natural, for lack of a better word, recording. So for instance, if you can't interact with a quote ghost and it always does the exact same thing at the exact same time, what the theory is that somehow or other there's something in that environment, and a lot of times they say it's a certain type of stone or an interaction between moisture and stone, or I don't remember,
some
but
kind of ley line.
Exactly, but it's supposed to have recorded an event in history, and if the conditions are right, it will start to replay that event in history. So, like I say, if you see if it's the same quote ghost doing the same thing at roughly the same time, and they never do anything else, and you can't communicate with them, and they don't act like they acknowledge you, then that's going to be the quote recording type.
Yeah,
that's
where a psychic image.
Well,
yes, I don't believe that, but I mean that's what they refer to as a psychic remnant.
I think it's more of a mixture of psilocybin and cocaine, really.
No, these people. Here's the thing: a lot of these people, like I didn't do drugs, and I experienced things. In fact, most people tell you if you want to have some kind of what people can perceive as a supernatural experience, you don't want to be on drugs.
Yeah. Like I've never experienced the supernatural, but I have experienced other people who claim to have experienced the supernatural. Well, I was right there and I didn't see shit. Yeah.
Oh, I know. That happened to me constantly because I was in a group of about 12 to 13 people, depending on who was around, but the core group was around 10 people, and there was 5 or 6 of them that claimed that they were quote sensitive and that they could talk to spirits and they could see ghosts and I mean, these are people that at the time I was very, very good friends with, that I trusted implicitly, and I came to believe that they believed that to some degree, but that it was there was something else going on, and they believed it was a quote ghost. And I don't think they were lying to me per se, that I think they were maybe lying to themselves.
Oh no, they believe this. I mean, I was when I was back in that, I believed it, and I believed it very strongly because I've had things I could say would be quote an experience, and I mean, I may not believe it as hang on a second. I may not believe it as much as I did back then for obvious reasons. But that doesn't mean those experiences didn't take place, right? And so back then, you kind of do think, hey, maybe there is a little more to this than what the average person knows. And you kind of think, hey, some kind of arcane special knowledge that most people don't have. You're special.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like why a Ouija board requires more than one person to operate it, because if you're alone, you're moving.
It actually does.
I've tried a Ouija board by myself and had absolutely nothing happen. Whoa. Yep.
The ghosts. Spirits.
Oh
no! The poltergeist.
Poltergeist activity.
Poltergeist. But I've tried the Ouija board by myself and absolutely nothing went on.
I worked great when I actually
myself. Well, but I was trying to you know, channel something. I wasn't gonna be, oh, I'm gonna move this around, you know. It just, nothing happened. And the a place that I lived in before here, like, I've been here with my husband for 6-7 years now. The place I lived before was an old former farmhouse that was converted into duplex, so I rented half of it. And I had 2 or 3 of my friends that swore up and down that that place was haunted by an old woman. And I mean, I lived there for 15 years. The only weird thing that ever happened in like the last 7 months that I lived there. I had been with my now husband, you know, serious for a while, and we're kind of opposite in that I had, at that time, I was still using like coaxial cable. I had like 5 TVs in the house, and he hadn't owned a television in like a decade. So when I was spending more time here, I got to the point where I had a small TV in my bedroom. I brought it over here because I was like, no, we have to at least be able to watch a movie or something. So I was loading that small TV into the back of my car, which is a station wagon. And I had the top up, and I had a remote control lock mechanism for my car. So I had unlocked the car from inside the house. And I mean, it was a duplex, so it's, you know, it's not an apartment. I don't have to go up too far. I was right there. So I had unlocked the car with my remote, set the remote. There was a little shelf on the wall just inside the door. Set the keys up there. Grab the TV, you know, I'm walking down to the car. I'm balancing the TV in one arm while I'm go to open the hatch of the station wagon. And as I reach forward to open it up, click, the car locked on me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I figure, okay, the keys have fallen off the shelf in the house and accidentally hit the button. So
your boyfriend standing in the dining room window, locking the car door on you.
I was there by myself. I had a next door neighbor, but he's some weird guy, and we weren't on good terms, and I hardly ever saw him. So I balanced, you know, I put the TV on the front step, go back in the side, and the keys are exactly where I've left them, and they're sitting with the button facing down. I'm like, well, that's fucking weird. So I pick up the keys, open the door, and see, I don't know why I didn't think to just put the keys in my pocket and bring them with me, but I open the door again, put the keys back on the shelf, go out, pick up the TV, go to open the door, click, goes off again, locks the car. And at this point, I'm like, no. and I think that somehow somebody had another key ring that figured out it worked on my car or something. I don't know. Maybe I still have the exact same key ring and the exact same car, like 7 years later, and it's never happened again.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Like same frequency or something, or similar.
Yeah, it just was weird because it never happened until I was reaching for the latch and balancing the TV on my other leg. So the third time I brought the keys with me and was like, whoever the fuck this is, fuck off. And it never happened again. But and at the time I kind of for a few minutes went, but no. There had to be an explanation. And that was the thing in all the years of ghost hunting. There was, if I was honest with myself, there was never anything that happened that couldn't plausibly be explained by a natural occurrence.
Yeah, and I don't think ghosts waste their time messing with door locks. But here's my thing. See, okay, this is one of those things where I'm not saying that I believe this. I'm saying if this was the case, right? I don't think that if these things exist, and I don't think if they exist, they're dead people. But if there's any kind of, let's say, spiritual stuff, something that we're not going to be considered to be naturalistic or materialistic, some kind of dualist, where you have an entity that has intelligence that doesn't have a corporeal form, okay? If anything like that did exist, it seems like when you go out looking for that stuff, they're never going to be seen. It's only when you don't expect things to happen, that's when weird shit happens.
Well, no, I found stuff where it's like I've gone out and deliberately, back in the days of film cameras, go out actually looking for ghosts, and you find things that would look like ghosts on film.
Well, yeah, those are
the problem is that I can also replicate those just by making mistakes in the development process.
And a big problem
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why are ghost stories, so universal among human beings? Like, don't they show up in like basically every culture? Like,
not in all cultures.
Well, it's not even just ghost stories. There are some universalities that I've seen that it's hard to explain. For example, like the Ouija board. When I would use a Ouija board for myself, it would move in this figure 8 pattern, and it would go super fast. I mean, and I'm not moving this. Maybe I am. I'm obviously idiomotor.
Yeah, it's psychosomatic.
But it does not feel like you're moving it. It literally doesn't. I mean, it's moving in this figure 8. And
I have 2 fun facts about the Ouija board after you're done, Steve.
Sure, but I've researched this later on, and when this time the internet wasn't a thing. So other people have had that exact same phenomenon. They move it in figure 8. Now, figure 8 is not really an ergodynamic thing. You would think people would be like doing a circle or something like a pentagram or whatever. Just a figure 8 is not really something that I would imagine a lot of people doing, but it's very, very common. And then, like the other night, we were talking about lucid dreaming, and we were trying to wonder why, when you flip a switch, most of the time in a lucid dream, it doesn't turn on a light, and that seems to be pretty universal. I mean, there are some exceptions. Some people are saying, well, it works for them, but for most people that lucid dream, one of the checks you can do is to turn on a light switch. Why is that a case where if you're in a lucid dream, it doesn't work? Why is that universal? I mean, what would be a scientific explanation for that?
I don't know. I've never even ever thought of a switch. Like every lucid dream I have, I'm either flying or I'm going through a forest and I'm hunting for something. But it feels so lucid. But the flying ones are the best.
Oh, flying ones are great.
But I've never had
But it's not just like a rocker switch. I've actually, those types of lamp switches where you turn, they have a little knob. I've clicked those and the light doesn't turn on, and I'm like, crap, I'm in a lucid dream. That's what. Do you know
all the intricacies of getting the power to the bulb?
In a lucid dream or in reality?
In reality.
I know
how the wiring all works.
I know how a lamp works. Yes.
I personally use my spinning top.
You use a spinning top.
You use your totem.
Your totem.
Supreme. What is it? Sorcerer Supreme.
No, but I mean, really, why is it the lights? And the other people in the light feed right now, they're saying, look, they've had the same problem. They're trying to turn a light in lucid dream, and it doesn't work. Why is that a universal thing?
Well, one possible explanation for everybody who lucid dreams, there's always something that seems amiss, something that differentiates the lucid dream from reality. So for a lot of people, it happens to be light switches, because flipping on a light requires that you understand a whole lot about circuitry. So when you flip on the switch, your brain can't actually explain why flipping that up.
You don't have to know anything about it. You just have to know when you flip the switch, light turns on. We've all experienced that phenomenon where we flip a light switch and
that basically is what you're aware of, but your brain downloads everything.
But that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me, but that's the only explanation I've heard of. And if you don't have a complete and comprehensive understanding of something, or at least a in-depth understanding of something, it's not going to work. I
mean, there's other lucidity checks you can do as well, reality checks. Like the one I do the most is, and I hate doing this one because if you're not in a lucid dream, you look stupid. I'm sure it's never happened, but you just basically jump up, and if you float down rather than come down at a normal pace, you're in a lucid dream. Or you can hold your nose. That's another way to do it.
I check newspapers.
I think that if you're actually testing to see if you're in a lucid dream, you're in a lucid dream.
Every time I've ever tested for lucid dream, I've been in a
You're either in lucid dream, you're in a lucid dream, or you're a solipsist. It's one of the two.
Or you're coming off of a real bad trip.
I got to admit, there has been some times where I was in conversations with G-Men where I did a lucid dream test just to make sure that there really was reality. But for obvious,
the camera's on, you see Steve walk over to the room and start flipping the switch on and off.
That's the real haunted stories that we're going to be talking about here eventually when we get into the CCP. We haven't really talked about them much.
All the fun stuff about the Ouija boards. Does anybody know who owns Ouija?
Mattel.
Parker Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep. Parker Brothers.
Okay. Parker Brothers. I knew it was
Parker Brothers, a subsidiary of Hasbro's.
Yeah.
Hasbro.
And it was never, ever, ever affiliated with the supernatural until the release of a particular movie in the 1960s.
What was it?
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, it still was related to the supernatural.
It wasn't prior to that because it was just a parlor game, kind of like, I don't know, some very weird version of Would You Lie to Me, where you'd ask a series of questions, and the person who's answering that the questions are about would guide the dial around.
Oh, see, I thought witch boards had been around for quite some time.
They have been. They've been around for almost 150 years.
Yeah.
They didn't get mainstream, though.
But they didn't become associated or mainstream or associated with the supernatural until The Exorcist came out.
Yeah, well.
And that's all they're known for now.
That movie was the scariest movie of all time.
Kind of like how if I say the name Damien, there's a particular concept that jumps to everyone's mind.
You didn't
think The Exorcist is incredibly boring. I hate that movie.
It is very boring.
That movie was great.
It is boring as fuck.
I don't know you people.
I could sit through The Exorcist and be like, is this supposed to be scary? Really? Yeah. Seriously?
You know what I found scary? Was Misery, because that shit could actually happen.
Yeah.
Misery was scary.
Saw and Hostel's Hostel's the scariest movie, because that shit can happen, and actually there's stories of it actually happening.
Well, that's where they got their inspiration from, was from the real stories.
Yeah.
Probably.
That kind of stuff is actually scary, because there's nothing supernatural about it.
Well, what do you guys
How about
think
the Human Centipede?
Oh, see, I don't like those kind of movies.
Do you know that Human Centipede, the guy who made that actually intended it to be a comedy?
Yeah, I'm sure.
What?
He intended that the series be a comedy, and eventually he went full circle and successfully made it a comedy. But when he pitched it, they immediately shot it down, and so he decided to rebrand it as a horror movie.
Was that like number 3?
Yeah, that was messed up.
Number 3 with like, you know, the porn star actress.
Well, I didn't watch any of them. I don't like any of those movies.
I don't know. The villain from the first is the villain from the third and stupid shit. It went full circle and became a comedy at the end.
No interest in that.
If I want a scary movie, I want something like something that's like kind of interesting to watch and scary at the same time. See, I liked The Exorcist though, but I watched Ouija 1 and 2 not too long ago. I watched The Conjuring. What do you guys think about?
What do you guys think?
The Conjuring was bullshit.
I wanted to see it though because I'm familiar with that story. So.
I'm familiar with the 2 asshole exorcists.
But what do you guys think of like the haunted doll museum and the haunt where they have like the haunted toys?
I think it's intriguing. I think it's interesting, but it's all bullshit.
Well, I think so too. But okay, there was they have a 24-hour cam. And in one of the videos they have, one of the things definitely rotated, no question about it. Now again, I think I like to think there's natural explanations, obviously.
Well, exactly. There's going to be something about the material. Like, okay, if it's not, let's just assume it's not deliberate, that they haven't put a motor in it or some shit like that. So there could be something in the material of the doll that in certain environmental circumstances would cause that material to, say, expand or contract or vibrate or something that would cause it to move.
So there's a doll that never moves hardly, ever, and then they have a camera on it, and just one time all of a sudden it happens to move, and that's caused by that. See, I think that's a worse.
Because why did they have a camera on it in the first place if they weren't expecting that it might do something?
Yes. I mean, it wasn't even like a doll; it was like a wooden statue thing that totally.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
They expected something to happen to it.
They wouldn't have put a camera on it if they didn't expect that something might happen at some point.
Well, they have.
What if it's aliens?
Yeah, it's probably aliens. I think that's the most likely.
Yeah, aliens. There we go.
Yes.
No, I've been to a lot of places that are supposed to be, super incredibly haunted, and like, for instance, have you guys heard of Waverly Hills Sanatorium?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that 2013. So the group of us paid $1,000 to spend the night in there with just one employee from the place to obviously make sure we don't trash everything. And I mean, we have some good equipment. One of the group's long disbanded now, but one of the members, he worked for a company that created artificial intelligence for camera systems. So that, like, for instance, one of their customers was the Munich airport, and it had the ability to track anomalies in the camera's field of vision and alert to the anomalies and pinpoint the anomalies. And if the camera had the ability to move, it would track the anomaly and things like they let us use that system. We had that. We had infrared. We had all kinds of cool equipment. And of course, we were told, oh, something happens here all the time, and not a goddamn thing. Not a fucking thing.
All those shows, like Taps, Ghost Hunters, or whatever, I mean, those are all produced produced programs.
Oh, they are.
They're all staged, every one of them. Maybe
they're all staged. They've all been to Waverly Hills. And so the guy that was there with us for the night was telling us all of the silly, like all of the things that those shows did to make it look more than what it was. And I'm thinking, this doesn't help your case here, bud, but whatever. And the thing that always got me, because I used to be huge into those shows, and what piqued my interest about ghost hunting at all was the British show Most Haunted. I was a huge fan of that show, and this was before it was ever available on North American cable. I was torrenting that shit 7, 8, 9 years ago. It was great. I loved it. And over time, watching all these shows and doing it myself, the thing that always got me was because the budgets these groups have was astronomical compared to ours, because we all had day jobs and we could only, we obviously didn't purchase the AI system. They allowed us to use it. That thing was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And these groups have way more money. Why is it that whenever something happened, there was never a camera on that specific spot ever? Like, I would have had so many fucking cameras in a room that you couldn't walk without tripping over a fucking camera. And I don't understand, I understand why, because that's how they play it. They show you enough that you feel like something happened, but they don't show enough for you to actually verify what happened and how.
Yeah, well, and I agree. And like I said, I don't buy any of that stuff. I don't believe in psychics at all. I think psychics are complete bullshit. I don't believe anybody talks to the dead. I'm straight up. So we'll say I believe that's complete bullshit. I mean, okay, but my thing is all, we can psych ourselves out, even if this stuff isn't true. We definitely can psych ourselves out. And when I've been in certain situations and you feel something, right? You feel that, and I know you've had it. The hair stands on your neck, hair stands up in your arm, and that fear, the primordial fear thing that you had from years and years and years of evolution kicks in, and you literally feel like something's there, and that is a predatory prey response mechanism.
Yep.
But of course, it's a figment, because I don't think anything actually is there, but it sure feels like it does.
I got a story that kind of relates to psyching yourself out. I lived in Colorado Springs when I was in my early 20s. I had just graduated high school, got back from college, and reconnected with friends. And we were cruising around. This is way before marijuana was legal, and Manitou was known for what it is known for now, which is a place everybody in Colorado Springs to go get weed.
I've been there. Colorado Springs, weed. Yes, I know what you mean. Go on. I was in Steamboat Springs.
So anyway, but back then it was known as the witch capital. So, you go there and you see scary stuff, and there's a hotel that's there now. It's all been refurbished. It's a very nice hotel. But back then it was a boarded up, abandoned building. It was halfway to being condemned, as far as I know. And there were boards over all the windows, and you drive by it, and it's a huge building, and it's a one-way street. And you drive by it, and then you have to circle back around, and you drive by it again, and it's it's in the neighborhood where it's 25 miles an hour. It's hilly. If you go there at night, and you'd swear that there were holes in those boards. You went by again, and you'd swear those holes in those boards were in different positions, like somebody had rearranged the boards. And you're psyching yourself out that somebody had changed the boards and people were watching you. So anyway, you drive around and you look at that stuff, and there's caves all over the place, and you get more spooked the longer you spent there. And it culminates with seeing people where you don't expect it, and you just literally scare yourself into leaving the whole place for no reason whatsoever. For no reason, like.
Yeah, because you start thinking about what could be or what might be, and next thing you know, that turns into that is.
Right, I'm sure it was just an empty building. Maybe there were some squatters there. Who knows?
But we want to get drunk Sarah in here. Everybody tell Sarah to get in here because she's drunk and.
Wasn't. Yes, Sarah.
We love drunk Sarah. Drunk Sarah is funny Sarah. It's kind of like Neffy. Drunk Neffy is funny Neffy. Not trying to compare.
Yeah, I've been telling her to get in here. I've been telling her to get in.
I would love to see drunk Neffy.
Drunk Neffy's funny.
Oh fuck.
Which wasn't that Emma Crawford or something like that?
Who?
That you were talking about? I'm trying to remember because I remember the story.
Of whom?
Oh yeah, there was definitely a story behind it. I forget, but apparently
Emma Crawford, I think was the name, or Emma, something like that.
There was some kid that supposedly went up towards Highway 24 there, up by Ute Pass, and the ghosts of the Indians got her, and all kinds of crazy stuff by it. And it was like, the Ute Indians, of course, did all kinds of horrible things because white people and all that stuff. But anyway.
I was gonna say it's always they always blame it on Indians. Like that's so mean.
Most ghost stories are about an Indian burial ground,
especially in places where there's a place called Ute Pass.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or if it's a Stephen King
has anyone
novel.
has anyone ever had sex in a graveyard?
No.
Yes.
I wanted to, never had the opportunity yet.
Why would I want to?
I had a girlfriend.
I would.
She was way into. I had a girlfriend. I was young. I was like 19 years old. She was like 31, and she was. She's definitely done way too much acid. And we go to. She talked me into going to the graveyard and.
Stop yourself before this becomes a rape confession.
I know, right? No, she would like, we'd be walking and she'd like duck and be like, whoa. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? And she's like, an orb just flew past me. You didn't see it? It was green. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't believe in
it. And she'd always see these orbs coming at her, but.
Yeah. No, I see cemeteries to me are like beautiful parks with lots of cool stone statuary.
If people say they have some ghost stories, come on in. The link to join is in the Great Debate community. You just have to be approved, but click on it and then I will approve you.
Hey, I've got something.
There is something morbidly beautiful about the act of consummation and being surrounded by a plot of death at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hey,
Stuart,
this was in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Actually,
what's up?
Colorado is in Glenwood Springs.
Yes, I've been to Glenwood.
Yep, right there. They got that. What the Billy Kid? What was that? No, that was the Doc Holliday grave.
Yeah,
in Glenwood Springs.
You were saying something?
Yeah. Okay. So I had a really good idea for like a room in a haunted house. Like you walk in, okay, and there's a loaded gun on the table, right? And then the lights turn on. And it's MP and Steve McRae talking about the definition of fucking the word atheism.
That's scary. That would be scary. That's not ghost stories.
There's a gun right there in front of you.
Is the option to shoot yourself?
Yeah. Or one of them.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Just when you think you're out of that, you get sucked right back into it, don't you?
Because I would eat it. I would so eat it right then and there.
It's like a week goes by and we're back in the hole. Like, why are we going?
I don't do it.
Actually, it's funny. I love talking about that, and I've not made it to any of those hangouts. I always miss them.
Real quick, Jarl came in the other day, but I didn't know who he was, so I kicked him out. Jarl, you want to try again? Because I don't know who you are. Jarl?
He was just here.
Jarl.
He left. Jarl
Dan.
I have a story. Like, it's kind of weird though. I was like 19 years old. My father passed away when I was like a junior. It was a crazy situation. Well, I always was. I never like really had closure and stuff. So I'm sitting in my room. I'm laying down in my room, and I hear these footsteps. I had a house that I lived on top, and then I had a big garage underneath. And I had steps that you had to get all the way up. And it was a long stairway. And you could hear people coming up. Now, I could hear footprints, and you could almost feel it in the house. And I'm laying on the bed, and I could feel it. I'm like, oh, someone's coming up the stairs. But I can't move. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell? It's coming up. Gets to the door. I can tell they're at the door. The door opens, and I'm starting to freak out a little bit. This is a lucid dream, though. I start to freak out, and the door closes. I'm like, holy fuck, they're in the house with me. And I'm freaking out. I'm stuck in the bed. I cannot move. And I hear walking across the house, come to my room, and I look, and there's actually like a silhouette, like a dark silhouette of like a big dude. And I'm like, right away, I'm like, that's my dad, or, in my head, I thought it was. And he comes in, I can't move, like I'm starting to like freak out. And he sits down like right next to me, and I could feel the bed like fall down. And, I could feel the bed like go when you got pressure. Yeah. And I'm like,
been
whoa.
there, done that.
And then then he touches my like chest, and then.
Is this another rape story?
Are
you sure this is?
And it disappears.
This isn't a wet dream that we're going on, are we?
And then I just woke up. Once he touched my chest, I woke up. But it was a lucid dream. I figured out.
That sensation of like the bed. I know exactly that sensation. I know that exact sensation of it's like you see someone, you're talking to them. Most of the time, they're not malevolent. I would say the vast majority of the time, it's just like you're like, I'm in a lucid dream. Somebody's here. I'm gonna try to pump them from information. Like, who the hell are you? What do you want? What's happening? They usually don't tell you much. It's unintelligible most of the time.
Yeah. Oh, we just start shooting like Hadokens at them, like a Street Fighter.
Hadouken! Tiger punch, tiger up.
So I've never had a lucid dream. I have no idea how that works.
That's basically how my lucid dreams go. Is I realize I'm in a dream, and then I become God for like the next 15 minutes.
See, that sounds like fun, but
lucid dreams are amazing.
Flying dreams, you control the flying. Amazing.
99% of the time, I never remember my dreams, and if I remember something when I wake up, within an hour, it's usually gone, unless
Hey, Steve.
How do you do it?
I've got a question for you. Have you ever had a lucid sex dream?
Oh yeah, but the problem with lucid sex dreams is that you wake up too quick. I mean, because I'm just done. It's like literally, I wake up because you get too excited and your brain gets out of that REM stage. So
yeah. But you're like, you wake up and you are like, boom. You're like, what the hell just happened?
He goes, oh wait, I'm dreaming. Aha! Piper Perry.
Yeah, the worst is when it happens.
Damn it! I'm dreaming.
When you're in a group, yeah.
Well, when there's a hot chick there and you guys are going at it, that's got to be a lucid dream, right? I mean, that's
The only dream I remember is,
in my case, that's a nightmare.
Nightmares, which is very unfortunate, but
yeah, I've had a couple bad dreams even just recently that were not lucid, and that's what sucks because those types of dreams are so impressed. They leave an impression on you when you wake up, and you couldn't have done anything to change it because they weren't lucid. You feel like you're at the mercy of the dream because you're just going through the dream and you have no control over it. And I don't like that. It doesn't. I don't have normal dreams like that very often. But I've had recently in the last couple months, especially, more dreams like that, and it's been kind of upsetting.
Well, it didn't actually help. It didn't actually help that it related to my time over in Macedonia, which is weird because, people were like, you were deployed to Macedonia and you were like, on the front lines. The front lines of a peacekeeping mission is not like the front lines of an actual engagement. Okay, we sat. The reason nothing happened is because we were there, but nothing actually happened. We didn't pull guns on anybody or do anything like that. But I guess it was just the idea that something could have happened. We might have engaged somebody, and just that fear carries over. And it broke. Even after I was out of the military, it broke.
Well, whenever you're in a combat situation, I mean, I've had port and starboard GQ watches going through the Silk Room envelope during the Gulf War. So I mean,
right.
I know what it's like to be in a high condition where you can have a missile incoming at any freaking time. But you get used to that because it's like, okay, after the first couple of days, you're like, okay, it's a routine at this point. But you still in the back of your head think any second something could happen.
Right, and for 6 months it was like that, and it was like you get back to your life, and then you realize you don't have to think about that, and then all of a sudden it creeps up, and you have a dream about it where the dream is where something actually happened.
I've had so many dreams that I was back in the military I couldn't even count. I've lost count. I mean, we're talking hundreds, and almost all of them have the same theme. Never the same dream, but the same theme. It's always that I should be out by now, and for some reason they screwed up my paperwork or whatever. I'm trying to get to admin. I'm like trying to tell them, look, my tour of duty is over. I'm way overextended. I should be out by now. It's a weird type of dream, but it's almost.
I'm a broken old vet at this point. I'm a broken old vet. What the hell you want with me at this point?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. I should have been out, and I know the exact month and date I got out. I'm like, it was actually in October. It was actually just a few days ago, actually.
Yeah.
By the way, my Halloween kitty wants to say hello.
Hi, Halloween kitty.
Hi, Black Cat.
Oh, hey, I was supposed to do something. First off, Sarah, come in the hangout. And then I was supposed to tell everyone in the hangout when Sarah was there to sub to her. So
Sarah
sub to Sarah, Max Shepard,
on her
Max Shepard,
other channel?
everyone.
Sarah Rodriguez.
Yeah. Stephen Bauman has some scary stories too, but he can't figure out how to come in yet. So, Sarah, come in.
For real, come in. Come on, y'all. I know she's got good stories.
Somebody's talking about nukes in the live feed. You know what I found out today? I did not know this, but Matt Dillahunty was in nuke school at one time, but I guess he failed out or washed out.
Oh wow.
Somebody had sent me a video, another nuke friend of mine, and he actually said when I was in the Navy and I was in nuke school, they had something called GCE, which is gross conceptual error, meaning that somebody didn't concept grossly. And I'm like, okay, only a person that was a nuke will know what a gross. He even said he was a nuke school, but then he was a boatswain's mate, so I guess he failed out because there's only a few rates that you can become after you fail out of nuke school. You can be a steel machinist mate, you can be a boatswain's mate, you can be a cook, or you can be a hull tech, I think it is.
So what you're saying is you're better than Matt Dillahunty.
I graduated, so yes, I am better than Matt Dillahunty. I want to know how far he got. He says even he's in nuke school. I want to know if he obviously didn't make it a prototype. I don't think, but
see, to me, that he doesn't. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would make it in nuke school at that point because it's like Matt Dillahunty's not dumb.
No,
he doesn't come across to me as stupid. It's just a gross conceptual error. Like, just
no. We all had some GCEs every so often. CEs were less intimidating. You just got a CE, that's a conceptual error. Then there was gross conceptual error, and then if you really screwed up, you got a WTF. I had one WTF my entire nuke school thing, and the only reason it is because the question had asked something about distilling plants, and there's a type of basket distiller, and I for some reason misread the question as a lube oil strainer. Duplex lube oil strainer question, and I was talking about lube oil flow and how the pressure differential and all this other stuff, and had nothing to do with water distillation whatsoever. And so it was what the fuck. Well, once I realized that I misread the question, I didn't feel so bad, but yeah.
Got to get that lube oil right.
Yeah, you don't want to put lube oil in your distillery plant. That would be bad.
That would be really bad.
Just go in dry.
Oh, we've had water that got like a dirty rag or something, and I don't know, but everybody got sick off of it. It's no fun, man. I mean, you're talking several days of just leaking out of every orifice. It's just, I actually had to get a IV. I was so dehydrated.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it helped. I mean, once I got that IV, it was like a miracle. It was just a simple IV, but man, did I feel better. I was white. I mean, just pure white. I was so dehydrated. I'm surprised I didn't, just have a coronary dehydration. Just your heart goes your heart fails because you lose your electrolytes, and so you proper electrolytic balance to have your heart continue, and so.
So you looked more like Santa Claus, basically.
Oh, I was pure white. I mean, I was. They were like, get in here now, and they just. There's Steve. Hey, there's Steve.
Hey guys.
I hear you have a ghost story for us.
That's pretty scary.
That is a scary
Just the picture there.
Yeah, that really got to me.
I have to.
I'm never gonna sleep again.
I have. Oh, sorry. I have 2 black cats, and I want them to say hi to everybody.
Somebody has the echo on, or the video on.
He is.
It's Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, he upstaged Heretic, man.
Just a heads up there.
Oh man, I've only got one, man.
Just a heads up, Steve. I sent a link to you
Who's
see
got the video in the
there's
background?
Oh, kitty. Hi, kitty. Pretty
there's
sure
a
it's Steve.
video on in the background.
I think it's Steve.
Yeah.
I'm trying to mute him, but it won't mute.
But anywho, for a bit of fun there, Mr. Moderator, Steve,
Is that better?
I sent a link out to my ex, who is a Muslim as well as a practicing witch.
Oh, kitty.
You get along with your ex?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty kitty.
How does Muslim witch work?
Not very well.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's kind of contradictory.
Yeah, it's not something that you bring up in the relationship because it's not an argument you're going to win either way, no matter how right you are.
You pray to the south, you pray to the south and north.
Yeah.
12 times a day.
Yeah, so I don't think. I mean, I've known witches. I mean, I've known a lot of people that practice witchcraft, Wicca. I don't think any of those spells actually ever work. Obviously,
No.
I think it's all in their think that they did. But yeah, I've never seen an example of
Yeah, it's all psycho.
I think Tyler Durden a while ago made a challenge to the CCP that they would propose to him a satanic ritual and he would perform it and see what happens, and he would live record the whole endeavor. And the first thing I jumped in, and apparently it was immediately rejected because I'm not a member of the CCP, was I wanted him to try the Abramelin ritual, which is not good for your health.
But I don't know about it.
It's what Aleister Crowley tried that eventually drove him to insanity.
Right, yes.
You seclude yourself for about 60 days in total darkness with only candles as your only source of light, chanting an incantation and attempting to summon various demons to the point where you put yourself in such grave danger that your guardian angel will appear to protect you, and then you perform a blood binding ritual to make your guardian angel your slave.
How do you eat? I mean, you have to like eat.
Soul cooking.
You still eat. It's just you don't have any social interaction. You have no exterior light from wherever you
sensory
are.
deprivation. Your mind fills in, the blanks.
Yes, it drives you insane.
Sure, sensory deprivation on a small scale is wonderful. Trust me, it really works great.
Hey,
oh, by the way,
I
just saw this pop up, so let me mention it because Pew just mentioned it. I guess, and I put it in the video description, and I forgot to mention earlier. Sorry, Reds. But there's a fundraiser for Pew Review and Vincent Jones, I guess, to send them to New York so they can go party with everybody. Want to help them go party in New York with Reds and Hana and stuff like that.
Yes, you should. I think last time I checked, they were at like 200.
None of us are going, but they're going. So.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're not going, but hey, I'll pay you to go. That makes sense.
Yeah, I want to go.
Yeah, my travel budget's blown for this year.
Quite frankly, though, Heretic, would you want to meet G-Man?
G-Man's not
No.
I'd punch him.
G-Man will show up. They're going to New York.
G-Man probably wouldn't want to meet me.
G-Man won't show up. Red's rhetoric.
You're a white woman. He'd love to meet you.
Red's rhetoric would beat the crap.
Not after we talked for 10 minutes. He wouldn't.
I'd beat the fuck out of him. I know I would. I couldn't even talk to him for 5 minutes. If anyone heard that conversation we had, I snapped on him. I couldn't.
I shouldn't say it. My boyfriend has been having a row with him on his account where all he did was he changed his profile pic, and suddenly, G-Man is very cordial, very civil, very respectful to him. Because all the profile pic is just my boyfriend when we went to a gender bender fundraiser event. So he's wearing a dress. He's dressed up in drag.
Is he pretty?
He's very pretty.
Ah.
Was it a long dress or a short dress?
Short dress.
That's very interesting, Nicola. It's very interesting.
It's called fishy drag.
It's very interesting behavior for G-Man.
But wait. What do you prefer a guy that's in drag or a guy that looks like a guy?
Well, he looks like a guy most of the time.
You're attracted to him when he looks like a woman?
Not really. Like I dress up. If I dress up in drag, yeah, I can pass.
So you're not like
easily.
You're not like Dragonite, right?
Voice. Like if I don't talk, if I just took snapshots of me in drag, it'd be in fishy drag. You wouldn't be able to tell that it was me, Steve. You would get a very confusing boner.
I'd be like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm so torn. What do you think of the whole Dragnot Ronnie thing about him totally blowing out of proportion what Dragnot was saying? Like,
Ronnie just wants
he's bisexual. I'm like, I don't think you understand what that word means, Ronnie. I just don't. I don't think he understand a lot of words. But.
I don't think Ronnie doesn't understand a whole lot of shit, but I think my boyfriend posted about that, which is something he asked me. I was like, why does Ronnie, go off on this? Why does he just start this stupid bullshit? And I said, because he's fucking pathetic.
He is pathetic.
His life is miserable to the point where nobody cares about him. He has no friends. He has no social life. And so he'll take any attention where he can get it. And that is downright sad. No one in this room, nobody listening, should hate Ronnie because
No, I don't hate Ronnie. He's just
full well, Ronnie is going to die alone and forgotten because his life is pitiable.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, I'm not going to go that far, but I'll say that Ronnie will never have anybody come to him for actual information of anybody that has knowledge on anything. He's not a source for anything.
I don't like. Everyone talks about how delusional he is. He's not delusional. If he was delusional, he'd be in this room right now, trying to rebut me or engaging in these combative dialogues with you over various topics. No, he's not going to do that. Never come in here because he knows he does. He knows he doesn't know shit. But he knows he can trick idiots like G-Man and Antonio into thinking he knows a lot of things because he uses a lot of big words that they don't understand.
We talk about a lot of different topics, around here. A lot of different topics. And even science topics, we talk a lot of other things. He only knows.
We even talk about the inner solipsism of solipsism.
Yeah, but he knows 4 things, right? And even then, he doesn't know that much about it. But he'll throw words out there, like G-coupled proteins and electron transport chain. But other than that, he doesn't really know anything about else, right? So when we start talking about these other topics, he's completely lost. Like, if he wants to come in any time and start talking about polonium halos, I'm down.
I kind of understand where his ability to communicate falls apart. Is that it's very difficult to think on the fly in a discussion where you're disagreeing with somebody. I appreciate that. It's very difficult for me. I'm far better in written dialogues. Because it gives me a bit of time to collect my thoughts. But he has nothing. I always remember that Ned debate that he had.
Was Ronnie the H20 guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he called it H20.
Ronnie was the guy who didn't think that all aqueous solutions contained water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, his debate with Ned was just wretched.
Because apparently aqua doesn't mean water.
He didn't have enough beaks harvested to do the ATP synthase that he got from breaking down a beak.
The sad part was, technically, if you really want to get technical, Ronnie wasn't wrong. Because if you say some aqueous solutions contain water, you're technically correct. Right, because some do. I mean, that the sum is a set of the whole. So if you say some aqueous solutions, made of water. That's a true statement, actually. But you just normally don't say that because it makes it implied that you don't understand that all aqueous solutions have water.
Well, if we're being that charitable, then sure, charitable. We can also grant that it's not stupid to say that ATP won't turn into a beak.
Or beak won't turn into ATP.
Or vice versa. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But I mean, I'm pretty charitable. I mean, that is a true statement. I mean, if I say,
there's a difference between being charitable and then being like, okay, this person is clearly like encumbered in some intellectual way, and I have to be overly charitable to try to understand. I'm dealing with a pile of shit, and I have to construct a straw man out of it.
But what's funny is he wasn't smart enough to figure that out. He should have came back if he had two brain cells that work together, in a functional way. He should have came back and said, "Well, that's a true statement." Because, like I said, look, if I said some unmarried men are bachelors, that's a true statement. It sounds weird, but it's true.
Mm-hmm. It's very weird, and I explained that to him why his statement was so flawed, using that very example to say some bachelors are unmarried or some unmarried men are bachelors sounds weird because we can say some unmarried men are widowers.
Right.
Half of all bachelors are unmarried and the other half are also unmarried.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works, but he wasn't even smart enough to try to figure that out.
No.
And then he had a video the other day. I was dying. I was like, it's like 6 minutes. I'm like, this is proof positive he's clinically insane, because he was just like basically saying he's never wrong. He's always been proving other people wrong. He always has to correct PhDs on the topics, and we're all scared of him because he's so overwhelmingly amazing in all these topics that nobody wants to go engage him, and so that's why we don't go into his room. And I'm like, that's this on a level of fuckery.
When has he actually hosted a room?
What's that?
When has he actually hosted a room? He's like, I have offered to go into his room, and when he starts rattling off about the atheistic morality, I was like, you know what? I'll join, and I'll talk to you about morality for a bit. We'll see what you know about it. And I never get a link. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, no, he again, he only wants to talk about a few subjects, right? He wants to control it back to the whole ATP synthase thing. That's his go-to.
These were in his videos where he's like, oh, these atheists are hypocrites. They say this is wrong, but then they do this. None of them will come in here and defend this. And I'm in the live chat going, I will.
Yeah.
I get that a lot on Facebook with other people. I'm in a bunch of debate groups, and I always see these guys, oh, you atheists are cowards, and you won't debate me. I'm like, I have a show, I'll debate you, and no one ever replies.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't go out of my way to debate people anymore, but I like to have organic discussions, but they won't even do that because, as Nicola pointed out, they don't know how to in real time, have a discussion where you have to think on your feet. It's not easy.
No.
Well, it isn't. It is a problem for me. I'm not going to shorthand them for that.
No, I mean, but
it's very particularly for me. It's very difficult for me to put things into words that everyone else would understand, because as heretic woman will probably get, people from Saskatchewan don't sound like people from the East.
No.
No, we don't. If I talk how I normally speak in day-to-day life, none of y'all will understand me.
But I think the difference is if you say something and somebody points out to you that what you said is wrong in some way, and you're like, you think about it, okay, let me rephrase it. Oh, yeah, you're right on that, so let me say it this way. That's what we do. On the opposite side of the fence, especially with Ronnie, you say something about him being wrong, he does double down, and then he says everybody else does it. That's the most biggest form of projection I've ever seen in my entire life, that he thinks everybody else is doubling down when the fact that everybody else is right.
What happens is he doubles down and then triples down and then quadruples down on a statement, and then when you explain to him and he finally realizes by his own investigation, where he's actually motivated by his own accord to figure out why he's wrong,
he
realizes why he's wrong. He goes, oh, well, they're just taking everything out of context and they're just focusing on these one word. Oh, I'm sorry.
Does this guy have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, True Empiricism.
Yeah.
TV.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
him. Okay.
It's like, oh, that cunt. Yes.
And what's funny is we don't go out of our way to try to nickel and dime. We take the most charitable interpretation of what he says most of the time. But what he says most of the time is so unintelligible.
Sometimes one word can make or break a statement. And I wish MP was in the room because he could back me up on this. If I said, using a law example, if I was the judge and I wrote as a verdict that somebody may pay $2,000 in child support or must pay $2,000 in child support.
Huge difference.
I recommend
there with that one word.
I recommend the Christian Hillbilly instead. He's a lot more scholarly than True Empiricism.
Oh God.
He got wrecked when he came in here.
Do you guys still want to hear a ghost story or no?
Sure.
Meh.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Meh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has anyone heard of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Illinois? Probably not.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, in 2002, I went there with a friend, and can you guys see this? We actually made a journal.
Okay.
And we took Polaroids, because you can't fake Polaroids, right?
Well,
and we went to dead of winter because we didn't.
Yes, you can.
Well, you can. I know you can, but I'm just saying. It was a February day, and we didn't want a lot of people to be there. This is back in 2002. Can you see that picture right there? That white
barely.
thing?
it's kind of dark.
Nope. You can't. This right here?
It's kind of dark.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You can't see that white big blob at all with my finger.
That is the worst dick pic I've ever seen.
I see a blob, but I don't know.
Actually, it's a glare. I mean, the Polaroids from 2002.
Right.
I showed this. I put it in there, and I knew what it was, and I showed it to a friend. And he's like, "You caught a ghost." I was like, "Dude, that's a freaking glare from the from the snowbank and the way the sun was setting." And I just couldn't convince him that it wasn't.
How's that a ghost story?
What? That's my ghost story.
Okay.
It's a story about somebody who thought it was a ghost.
Yeah, well, I don't have any actual ghost stories. Me and my friends, when we were younger, we used to go to all these places and nothing ever. And I don't know. You guys talk about getting those butterflies in your stomach and like that. I don't get that. I don't get that paranoid feeling.
I don't
in
either.
Dark places.
You know what? One thing I learned when I was doing ghost hunting. I learned about something called a fear cage, if you've ever heard of that. Because we had, the whole ghost hunters. We had the EMF detectors, and I still have mine. My husband uses it for electrical work now, but I had one.
You ever came across a full floating repeating phantasm?
Well, not really, no.
Did you use the snakes to find the cold spots?
Yeah, actually, I used an infrared thermometer, but so electromagnetic fields. What I learned is that some people have a sensitivity to that. So have an instance where, say, you've got a poorly grounded electrical panel, which tends to be in a basement. And somebody who goes down there to, say, do the laundry or whatnot, and they have a sensitivity to electromagnetic fields, it can make them feel paranoid or sick to their stomach or like they're being watched and all of those things. And it can come just from having a sensitivity to those electromagnetic fields. And we've been to houses where people called us in and we kind of went, yeah, your electrical panel is really shittily grounded and there's like EMFs like all over the place.
I think that's largely suggestive, maybe. About with us.
No, but there's actually,
of course, as an electrical current is going to set off a Geiger counter.
Hey, no, it won't.
Right,
no,
but
no,
not necessarily.
No, wait.
detector.
No, it won't. First of all, heretic. Do you know what they call those electromagnetic fields? They call them
What?
ghosts.
Yes.
No. Geiger counters are not affected by electromagnetic radiation, and there's different types of Geiger counters. Certain ones are set up to only detect things like beta decay, which is electrons. They have a very special mylar material that prevents other material. Only electrons are allowed to pass through. Then you have what's a tube that has a scintillation detector in it. Those are not affected by electromagnetic radiation. Other ones, like neutron detectors, are huge. They're big black things, and that you hold on to, and they're like suitcases almost. And they use a very different type of technology to detect neutrons. But they're not. None of them are going to be susceptible to electromagnetic radiation. The only ones that are susceptible to electromagnetic radiation are the self-reading pocket dosimeters, where you look through them, and there's a cat whisker that moves across a number line, and it can get ionized. And as it gets deionized, then it'll actually start, moving that cat whisker. So that can be affected. But other than that, no, Geiger counters are not affected by electromagnetic radiation.
Well, Steve, it all depends on how good your proton pack is, right?
Oh, I can pack a proton.
That sounded oddly sexual.
As well as it should have.
Has anyone heard?
No one got that.
Helmet?
No one got that. Proton
pack. I did.
Proton packs are the weapons that the Ghostbusters use.
I got that.
Okay, no one else did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
I did, but it still sounded like something that would be uttered in a porn parody.
Whose planet? This should be interesting. A new person.
And then Stranger Things 2 brought it back. They brought back the proton pack and the trap.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Oh, did that? I haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
It's good. It's on par, if not better than the first.
That's what Dragnaut is doing right now.
Whoa! The Ghostbusters with the chicks.
What?
I thought you said the movie, the newer Ghostbusters, was good. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was crap.
No, we're talking about
the new Ghostbusters was absolute shit.
It was crap.
What Dragnaut is doing right now is watching season 2 of Stranger Things.
Oh, I haven't. Yeah, okay. I haven't seen Stranger Things yet. I'm looking.
At least that's what I'm assuming he's doing, because that's what he said he'd be doing. After he created that abomination that he called poutine, but.
Since you mentioned electromagnetic influence on the human brain, has anyone heard of the God helmet?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Apparently, you pump enough, God, what's the term? I can't think of it right now.
Extra ultra low frequency, or ELF?
Yeah. I think
that's a lot of hallucinogens.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. First you get paranoid, you start feeling nauseated, and then you start seeing stuff.
Hey, Nicola, they think somebody in the live chat thinks you sound angry. You're the angry gay man. I'm like, what possibly sound? How do you sound angry? There's nothing about you that
doesn't sound
I've never heard you
I'm the angry Canadian gay man. I just want to fuck something.
That's true. You're Canadian. That does explain it.
I am sexually frustrated.
I've never heard you upset. I've never heard you angry.
You're not allowed to be angry in Canadian. I'm sorry. You're just.
I don't know why people think that I sound angry most of the time. Like the only people who actually he's just a bit Liverpoolian.
But it wasn't the angry Canadian. It was the angry gay guy. It was like he has to point out the gay guy.
Yeah. Of course. Because,
so I'm the angry French Canadian now. So.
Wait, you're French Canadian?
I hope Ozzy heard that.
You're French Canadian?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, good.
No, he speaks Skookum.
Oh.
It's like one of the things that I'm not, ethnically speaking, is French.
Yeah,
I am fluent in it. So.
Well, yeah, because they force us all to take it as kids.
No, they don't.
Yeah, well,
Okay, I was in Français d'immersion. You took core French, which was you took one period up until grade 9, and then you dropped it like everyone else.
No, I took it until OAC.
I'm talking to Steven, because he said, they forced it upon us. No.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I was a little kid at the time, so I remember it felt like I was being forced, and I remember almost none of it. Yeah. I remember more German than French.
I used to be really good at it, and then I didn't use it for 20 years, and now I really suck.
Yeah, that's... My mother's really good at
How can you not use it for 20 years if you live in Ontario?
Because no one speaks French where I am.
No one speaks French in Ontario.
Everyone from Quebec has to pass through Ontario.
I don't.
They all wind up.
Yes, and
they all wind up here anyways.
But Nicola, even when I went on French exchange to Sherbrooke in 10th grade, no one in Sherbrooke spoke French around me. I had to ask them, I'm supposed to be here to speak French. Can you speak French? And they're like, oh, okay, if you insist.
I've been to Ontario many times, and that's, I have family up there, and no one I know speaks French in casual conversation.
No one.
No one in Ontario.
I don't know, maybe a quarter of my province speaks
casual
conversation.
Yes, because you have a higher bilingual and French speaking population there. We have virtually none.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you hear somebody speaking French,
I bet you there are, if you hear somebody speaking French, chances are actually they're far more likely to be Haitian than they are to be from Quebec.
That is true. They are far more comprehensible as well, because you cannot understand a
you can't.
Speaking
Quebec. Is my mic not working?
No, you can't. Like Nicola, when I went to Sherbrooke on exchange, I said, I was a really good student in French. And I went there, and when they actually did speak French, I was like, what the fuck did they just say? Because they speak it so quickly, I couldn't understand a damn thing.
It's not even how they speak it quickly. Because
it's like a dialect.
The slang. It's called
the slang, the dialect, the pronunciation of particular words.
Like they don't say we. They don't say we. They say wah.
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 It's called cheval, and if you go to France and you learn French from France, it's very uppity. Almost, they would call it uppity in Canada.
Yes. Even what
here's a good example is that French Canadian movies have to be subtitled in France.
Well, the Canadians are killing my Hangout because it's buffering to no end, and I don't know why. I turned it.
We're taking over again.
Well, I turned on everybody's video. I just went
to. Although I have dual citizenship.
It's 1812 all over again.
I just went to audio only, so that should correct that. Because the only time people are saying it's buffering is when I turn on the video so Steve could show his card. So I put it back on audio only, so that should increase the bandwidth.
Sorry, Steve. I had to show my pictures. Sorry.
That's okay. No, at least I think that's at least I know what it is. Then that's what it was that caused the buffering. Because I lowered that down now all the way.
Blame the Canadian in me.
It should be down to 144p. I'm actually broadcasting at 480 at 2500 bit rate. So, and I have had no drop frames, so this should be pretty good. It should be at 480.
Yeah. When 3 or more Canadians meet, inevitably they start bitching about the French.
Yep. unless you're from Quebec,
which would be Aussie, and I chew him out for that constantly.
Now you still get video. You still get video on the outside feed. I cut the internal video so nobody can use their camera. That's what I mean. Cutting the video, so it cuts down the bandwidth.
I can see everybody on camera.
You guys, yeah, but I can't, and that saves on my.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it doesn't have to encode any of that. So I'm not seeing you right now. I'm seeing your icon.
Okay. Which is new, by the way.
I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want a real fun time, heretic woman,
yes.
You should ask Dragnaut to speak French to you.
Oh gosh.
Want to hear some of that Louisiana French?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to understand that either.
Can you speak Creole?
No, that's worse. That's that Creole.
No, that shit will make you wretch.
Creole is very different, and then Haitian.
How does any of this have to do with our topic tonight?
It has nothing.
Well, I tried to get us back on.
It is terrifying, Steve.
And it is scary
if you're trying to understand that shit.
Yeah. True.
It's scary if your favorite X-Men was Gambit.
Okay, I don't like X-Men, but whatever.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you too.
You are an angry Canadian.
Yeah, this is why people think you're an angry gay man.
Yeah. Because you're telling poor ginger chicks to fuck off because they don't like X-Men. Okay.
Oh, you've heard worse, you ginger.
Yes, I have. Oh man, you should have seen the other day on my Facebook page some guy, because I posted a meme a few memes. There's a quote from Muhammad that basically says, any country that lets itself be led by a woman is going to fail. And then the meme has a picture of Queen Elizabeth I, and it's like, oh, really? Tell me more, kind of thing. And I did one. Well, the first one was Queen Elizabeth. That wasn't mine. And then I did one with Catherine the Great.
Second.
Hatshepsut, and a Madagascarian queen whose name I can't pronounce but was really badass. And this guy comes on and he's like, you're a Zionist, racist, right-wing, white supremacist, fat bitch. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
The things that I take from that,
run by men that have failed, right?
Yeah.
The things that I take from that, heretic woman,
yes,
is that the examples that you gave of, you mentioned Elizabeth I.
Yes.
Who assumed command, and then her empire immediately went into a decline.
Not true. Henry VIII spent it into oblivion, and she came in and had to actually
remediate it,
all of his fuck ups and turned it into,
repaired and managed most of his mistakes. But
yes,
the empire was in an inevitable decline under her rule.
Was.
And Catherine the Great, who is rumored to have died by being pegged by a horse.
She did not. Totally
which she did
wrong.
not, yes.
But what I love about her is, first of all, she was brought in as a foreign princess. She was a Prussian princess. Brought in, told she had to marry this idiot who was more interested in playing with toy soldiers and being a ruler, and was totally dominated by the Empress Dowager, and turned around because her husband was destroying the country, turned around, did a coup, and took over as a woman and completely took over Russia and became one of its greatest rulers. And it wasn't even her own country. That's how much she decided to make that her home and do her best. Like, I just think she's amazing.
And I don't know. My favorite one from history is the Mongolian. I don't know what she would be. Duchess, princess. Her name was Kutulu. She was the niece of Kublai Khan.
Right.
And he and her father wanted to arrange a marriage for her, political marriage to kind of civilize the Mongols. And she said to them, yes, I'll marry somebody that you choose for me, but he has to wager 100 horses and beat me in a wrestling match.
I am familiar with that.
Yep, she eventually married a man of her own choosing, never married a man who took the wager, but married with 10,000 horses.
Yeah, which is a fuck ton of capital for Mongols.
100 men failed to beat her at wrestling.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they incorporate that. I enjoy the Netflix series Marco Polo, which is quite fictionalized, but they did bring her as a
fictionalized.
Oh yes, but they did try to incorporate that character into the story.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed that, even if it was. I'm generally pretty into being historically pure, but that one didn't offend me too much. Mm. The Hollywoodization wasn't too horrible.
I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but the actual TV series, not the Netflix series of the Borgias, I really, really like that one.
Yes, the European version.
Yes.
Yes, that was my favorite as well. Very well done. I love the Borgias.
Very eerie, considering that my nephew, my oldest nephew is named Cesare.
Oh, cool.
He looks like the guy who played Cesare.
Cesare. See, and that was definitely the better of the two Cesares, too.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I'm scared to death because I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about. And I want to kill myself.
We're talking about a pope who had orgies in the Vatican.
I could safely say this is the most boring conversation I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. There's nothing boring about history, goddammit.
Yeah, there actually is. That's why it's history. Nobody
cares.
Nobody
there isn't.
You used to say the same shit about philosophy.
I've said his history.
When you guys start talking about like the details of fucking evolutionary
the details of fucking, that's never boring.
No, of like evolutionary proteins and shit. I'm like, what's? I'm going to sleep now.
I fall asleep right when they say ATP. I'm like, okay.
I don't even know. Yeah, but
ATP,
synthase stuff.
I said ATP.
No, you didn't.
I don't even know what that shit is, nor do I particularly care. So that's when my eyes start to glaze over. So
the audience is saying history isn't boring. Just you guys are.
That is a stereotype of us.
That's what they're saying.
Yes.
The live chat is brutal tonight.
Yeah, well. That's okay. We don't have Trump as our leader. So there you go.
Well, neither will the Americas rather quickly.
Yeah, I just hope they take down Pence with them. That's all I.
Oh yeah, I know.
No! You guys are going to have, as president, the embodiment of the Old fucking Testament. That's what you're going to have.
But
oh, don't say that.
You're going to have a president who's actually seriously debating whether or not he should outlaw girls wearing braids.
I'm kind of hoping that some of the newer people that come into the Great Debate kind of like pop in here, but that hasn't really been the case. I don't know. I've had a lot of loose subs, a lot of people coming to the GDC, a lot of people I know listening, but they don't say anything in the live chat and they don't come in.
Are you under such agony from our conversation, Steve?
They're scoping you out, Steve.
Steve, it's the Illuminati, you know it.
Yeah,
it's the Illuminati.
He's
NSA,
just an Illuminati shill.
And the Masons.
It would be better if I was drinking tonight, but I'm sober, so.
The hell is wrong with you? Why are you sober?
I got no mixer. I can't really take straight alcohol.
Anywho, you did get my message about Wednesday, right? On the 8th?
Kitty!
That's one of my favorite women from history is Julie d'Albion. Right there.
Do we have a date?
I'm not familiar with them.
Well, you're having your hangout with Anthony, whatever the hell his name is.
4th.
Well, mainly because she fought around. She killed people with swords.
You messaged me. It was on the 8th, and I'm at work on the 8th.
Oh,
I can't
that's
get it
what your
off.
message was. Yeah, I saw that. I don't remember what day it is. I'll have to look.
And she had a nun as a lover, and
it's on the 8th. Yeah, it's on the 8th.
And she was an opera singer, and yeah, she was quite a interesting character, considering the era, 1673 to 1707. Yeah, she was quite
one of my favorites is Boudica. She pretty kicked ass.
She's a fun one.
Yes.
Yeah, she kicked ass until she revealed herself to be a fucking idiot.
Yeah, well.
Let's attack these men uphill.
Yeah, that's never a good idea. But I guess that's what overconfidence does to you after a while. That would be my guess. She figured, we've beaten them, all the way back this far. Yeah, uphill.
Well, I like how we went full circle back to the Celts, which is, of course, the origins of Halloween, the Samhain festival.
Of course.
So, there we go.
Yes. And as a good ginger, I, of course, represent my people very well.
Sarah wants to come in and dance. I'm okay with that. I'll turn the video back up for that.
I don't have any tokens for that.
Sweet
I want to see dancing.
Booty dance.
Booty dance.
That's my Krillism joke as well.
Come in, Sarah. Give us new life. Dance us.
Save us. Give us something. It's only been like 90 minutes. I got 30 more minutes of this hangout before I get ended. I want to go 2 hours, and we're dying here now.
We've gotten to the point where the Canadians are outnumbering the Americans.
Yeah. Yes, we have, actually.
We have taken over once again. Oh, fuck you, Stuart. You have evened out the numbers again.
He said he had to go.
Coast you're on. You're on West.
Go get the link from the GDC channel.
Yeah, I thought I had to go, but I'm back now.
I can't post the link in the live chat. It doesn't let me. It gives me an error message.
I'll probably have to leave in 5 minutes.
I can't log into my email right now.
What?
Steve, are you on the West Coast?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yes.
Oh, Steve.
Wait, it's like what time is it there? It's like
the West Coast, according to GMAT, which is Texas.
I wasn't going to make this an all-night event.
He's 3 hours in the past.
Well, you guys are on Eastern time. I'm on Central.
So we're in the future. No,
yeah,
actually,
you're in the future.
I think Nicola might be in. I forget what times. I've never been that way, so I don't remember what time.
I don't know why Steve's so tired though. It's only like 8:30 there.
Yeah, it's 8:30.
Yeah, that's why I laughed when I saw the link that was late night Halloween, and I'm like, it's like what 5 o'clock there? What the fuck?
It's 10 o'clock like right now. Well, actually, it's 10:30 or 11:30 right now.
That's not late. Late is like 3 a.m.
Reds is late for Reds right now. This is late for him. He needs his beauty rest, and he's a lot of it too.
He's not even replying to you.
That's how tired Reds is. He doesn't know what to say.
So where's this dance?
Well, Sarah has to come in here so she can do a booty dance.
Steve, maybe you should start drinking. You sound really exhausted.
I am exhausted. I told you I've been sleeping like shit lately. I have a little bit of alcohol. I got a little bit of whiskey left, but I have to cut it with water and sweet and sour. I'm not big on drinking. I can't drink like hard alcohol. It kills my stomach.
Oh, that's not good.
When you get old.
Back in the day, it was a different story. I mean, I can go through a fifth of Jack Daniels. Now it's like, oh hell. I don't even like drinking that much. The only reason I drink is for rum and coke night because I just kind of fun. But other than that, I don't drink. I don't sit.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker either.
So what province are you in, Stephen?
Oh, I don't live in Canada right now.
Oh, okay.
No, I have dual citizenship.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no. As a child, I lived with my sisters in the Sioux in Ontario.
Okay.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in Kitchener.
And I still go up there at least 5 times a year, usually to Wawa or Thunder Bay.
Right.
Or the Sioux. I'm a Superior troll.
I'm down in Kitchener.
I don't know where that is.
You don't know where Kitchener is? Dude. Mm-hmm. That's Oktoberfest. We're an hour southwest of Toronto.
Oh, so you're by London?
I'm an hour from London, too.
Okay.
I'm like right in the middle.
I know somebody that lives in London.
Do you know where Guelph is? Cambridge?
No, I don't really go to Toronto.
Okay.
I've been there a few times. But, if you can tell me, like, other than London and Toronto, out that way.
Okay, well, I'm an hour...
Ottawa? I don't know much.
I'm an hour north of Toronto, of London, and an hour south of Toronto.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the two.
Right in the middle, then?
Yep.
Are you right off Trans-Canada 17, or...?
No, I'm right on the 401.
Oh, okay. I think I know where you are now.
Right on the 401.
We need to get some people in here.
God, all this Canadian talk.
Yeah, I'm dying. I'm serious.
We're talking about roadways and stuff, Steve. They're talking about roads, Steve.
I'm literally going to say screw it and start drinking some hard alcohol straight at this point.
Okay, but
yes,
the 401 is arguably... Boring. There are some people who believe the 401 is the most densely traveled highway in the world.
Is it haunted?
Probably.
Well,
there were 5 people killed on there in the last week, so...
Yeah, I'm trying to get Reds in
here. It was like major accidents.
Well,
that sucks.
I wish I lived up there, but no, I live in Indiana. And I own land in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh, Pennsland.
Yeah, that's why I'm on Central Time. But that's why I own land in the UP.
Jesus,
so
Red, save
us,
please. Just do a rant. Talk about flat earthers.
Oh, God.
Anything.
Well, I could tell you about when I crawled into a morgue drawer when I was at the Waverly Hills.
I don't think that's even going to do it at this point.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm soulless right now.
Oh, please. I mean, come on. Would you crawl in a morgue drawer? A rusty, old, decrepit one from 1910?
Probably smells.
Are there blood stains in it?
No, there wasn't.
Bombing fluid juices everywhere?
Probably. I don't know. I got to the bottom one.
Oh, Red just having fun with this Hangout app.
No. That sucks.
Phone, Android crap shit, yeah.
It's better than that Apple crap.
Well, the real question is, would you get in a morgue drawer with a dead body in it? That's the difference.
G-Man. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
G-Man.
If G-Man was dead, I probably would.
Do you notice that do you notice Red's phone started working as soon as somebody said G-Man? Coincidence?
G-Man.
No, actually, you're wrong on that, because as of right now, it says, unfortunately, Hangouts has stopped, but I'm still being able to talk to you and hear you. So you know what? I'm just going to leave it on the screen and say, fuck it, because I don't care anymore.
Yeah, none of us care.
That makes sense.
We've so lost our caring a long time ago, man.
Yeah, so... It is what it is. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this, but for some reason the Hangouts app keeps crashing, even though I have no other apps open, which is fucking weird as shit, but whatever.
Are you home?
It's Halloween, it's haunted, whatever.
Yep.
Did you go trick-or-treating,
Ghost in the machine.
No, I didn't go trick-or-treating.
You could have.
That's the advantage of living at the end of a dead-end street. You don't get little brats coming around asking for candy.
Yeah.
I used to live in an alleyway, and in 15 years, I never had anybody come down there, oddly enough.
Well, if it was creepy and poorly lit.
It wasn't too bad. Like, it was kind of open. I don't know.
You lived in an open alleyway?
Okay, so the house that I lived in, this is the same one I was talking about before. It kind of... It was there in the 1840s, and the city block structure kind of grew up around it. So the house is in the middle of a block. And so it was sort of like a dirt alley / street that goes down in the middle of the block. So it didn't have buildings all around it. It was kind of open. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
yeah, that is kind of, I can't picture that.
Yeah, it was a very odd configuration, for sure. But the first year I lived there, because I had lived in like a high-rise apartment building, and this is like a house. So I'm like, oh, I have a front porch. I'm going to decorate. And I made a dummy and hung it off the porch and all this stuff, and nobody ever showed up. So for 15 years, no trick-or-treaters.
Well, this is my first year in this
Works
house.
for me. That sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
we don't get that.
By the time I move out of here, I never have anyone stop by.
I don't mind it. We don't get a huge number, and then I get to eat all the candy that's left over. So
I already told my daughter to save me some chocolate. So
there you go.
Well, I already told my wonderful story of trick-or-treaters this evening. Off air, though, but I'll repeat it here for the people who weren't present.
Sure.
Was somebody knocked on the door. I didn't have candy yet. Boyfriend's out getting it. And
oops.
Yeah. Weren't prepared for it because I didn't expect to be handing out candy. But they decided, oh, no one's answering the door. We have a clear glass door for our front door. And they can clearly see that there's a pit bull on the other side of the door.
Oh, no.
This person decided they're going to poke their head in, open the door, and say, hello. They got bit.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
It took every fiber of my being not to slug them out for coming into my house.
Yeah.
So I guess they deserved
it. They got cussed
right?
out in front of their kids, as well as being bitten, and serving it as an example of why you don't go into other people's houses.
What kind of idiot does that?
In Canada, see what Canadians are? That's just some weird shit.
We don't lock our doors.
Well, was it about 3 months ago? I came downstairs.
I'm gonna try something. Be right back.
Sure. And like where I live, we are on a really busy street. Like it's a 4-lane street, and I'd come downstairs at like 3:30 in the morning to get something to eat, and I realized that there's a strange man sitting on our porch, just sitting there. And so we called 911 because I don't know who the fuck this is. And it was this drunk guy who he thought that he called his friend for a ride, and he decided that our front porch was a good place to sit and wait for his friend to come get him.
Yeah, he's lucky he's not in Indiana. That would have got him shot.
he's lucky he was here, because in a lot of places he would have got shot. But here, it's illegal to do that. Even if somebody was like actually robbing you or trying to kill you, if you shoot them, you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah, I think it should be illegal to shoot anybody, anywhere, anytime. That way it solves a lot of problems. You're awfully nice to each other. Think about it. Think about it. If we had that policy, everybody would be the most friendliest son of a bitches you've ever met in your life.
I don't know about that.
You know what? We can give it a try. We got to do something. Our population rate is literally 2 to 3 times. It's about 2 and 2.5 times the death rate. The Earth is not going to be able to sustain, the growth rate that we're having. So we're going to have to do something like the Purge or something.
And I don't think so, because I was just watching a video this morning talking about the different phases of population growth and decline, and they were saying that especially in Western nations, virtually all of the populations in Western nations are on decline, because once people are able to get more educated and technology catches up and whatnot, we tend to have fewer children.
I don't know what the hell you've been seeing. Our birth rate's about 128 million people. I think it was a month.
No, the birth rate it said for Americans was something like 1.7 children per woman, and for the population to grow, it has to be 2.1 or 2.5 or something like that.
I think Steve's talking about global.
I'm talking about globally.
You're right,
the birth rate is 2.5 times out the death rate. And
you're right, but that's
cannot substantiate. I mean, we're going to be doubling and almost over doubling our population in a matter of no time. I mean, in 10 years, it's going to be, I think, 8 billion people.
Yeah, I think when I was born, it was only 3 or 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we don't have the resources to have that many people. I think the tipping point is like 10 million. They say is unsustainable.
So what you're saying is we should reintroduce the old Canadian practice of putting our elderly on ice floes and just pushing them out into the ocean.
Island,
or like Logan's Run.
The war with Denmark. Put them all on that little island. Give them the whiskey.
I used to.
I go for the carousel.
Way back when I was in high school, I used to advocate that we should put all like the people who are on registered sex offenders lists on an island with just a bunch of silverback gorillas during mating season, and turn that into a reality TV show.
I'd watch that.
Do you realize that we have the carousel? The only person that would actually be alive, I think, would be Reds. The rest of us would already be done.
Oh, ages ago.
Oh no, I wouldn't be done yet. I still got 3 years.
Carousel was
damn.
Was it 32 or 35?
30.
Oh shit! I got a few years left.
It was 30.
It was only 30. Yes.
Okay. It was 30. So
okay, so I got 3 years left.
It was 30.
Am I the oldest person in this hangout right now?
I doubt it.
You in your 40s?
Yes.
50s?
No.
Probably not. I don't know. How old are you?
Okay. 42. I'll be 43 next
I'm older
month.
than you. I got 5 years on you.
Yeah, Steve, I didn't know how old
I'm
you
45. I'm 45.
I'm the old man.
I'm 45 as well, so you lose.
Oh,
I'm the old man trapped in the young body.
Oh, I'm sure you've been trapped in a lot of young bodies.
Only if they pay me. But here's the Halloween offender heretic. Hey,
yes.
Come here.
Aww. Aww. Such a pretty boy.
Hi, puppy.
Yay.
People are like, I got 3 decades on them.
See, I would love to have a dog. I'm just never here. I can't take care of it.
We've got 3 cats now. We lost 2 this year, but we had all like super old cats. So
you know what really freaks me out is that G-Man's the same age
but they
as
take
me.
care of themselves.
Yeah, that's
How is it that G-Man?
If I go up north for 5 days, I don't have to worry.
Yeah. What was that about G-Man, Steve?
I said,
How do I sound?
He's like 2 years younger than me. You sound fine.
Okay.
You
sound good.
I don't see how G and I were remotely in the same decade.
Okay, G-Man is physically 2 years younger than you.
He's chronologically.
Yeah.
A couple decades.
He's physically 2 years younger than you. Yeah. Until I had to explain this to Zulu the one day because I said G-Man is a child, and Zulu, of course, lost his shit over that.
Zulu's an idiot.
Yeah, he is an idiot, but...
And I just looked it up, and it is 30 years old for Carousel.
Yeah, I have 3 years, but...
And the rest of us are walking corpses. Lovely.
No, don't be so hard on yourself.
You've all escaped the system at this point.
This is true. Yes, we've all escaped.
You're that old man who's like living outside, who's never really has
in the library.
The old man in the library was like 40. He was like 40 or 50 or something.
And he's like old and grizzled and white hair. Well, you've got white hair, don't you, Steve?
He's old, grizzled, white haired, talking about cats and all these mundane things.
Poor people in the live chat don't know what carousel
no idea what he's talking
How old are we that we know carousel and we have to explain it to people? God.
Logan's Run was masterpiece.
It was.
The best movies of all time.
Yeah.
1976.
I'm still working on that book that Hogtie recommended, where I said it sounds like The Matrix meets Logan's Run.
Fawcett. Was it? Yeah, was it?
Who remembers that old that Spielberg movie, THX? The old one. It's like his first one, like when he was a teenager.
Echo.
Yeah, we got
probably
we got 2 reds.
We have a ghost. It's fine.
Yes, the ghost of reds.
Yeah, Logan's Run is outdated by today's standards by far. The graphics obviously didn't age too, but it's still a classic.
Oh, it is.
That being said, I'm surprised that they've not done a reboot of it.
I'm surprised too, actually.
Well, they made a series.
I mean, they
did.
Did it?
There was
a long time ago. Yeah, but
well, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was like after they left, and they ran into like weird things in the real outside, of the city.
Outside the dome.
Okay.
Outside the dome, yeah.
Okay. I just like they had video chat back then. It's like, gee.
Like, hey, if they can bring back Doctor Who, they can bring back Logan's Run.
Oh yeah,
sure. It'll be a hell of a good reboot.
Oh shit! I forgot Farrah Fawcett was in that.
Yeah, that was Farrah Fawcett. Yeah, Farrah
and
Fawcett.
Peter Ustinov. Cool.
And how many Planet of the Apes movies have they done a reboot of?
No, I think we're on number 30 now.
Or prequels of, I should say.
To be sure, there's Westworld.
Westworld's good, though.
I have yet to see that.
The series? It's excellent.
Yeah, I like Westerns and sci-fi, but I've just never seen it.
Yeah,
but the original Westworld...
The original?
Westworld, yeah.
No, I haven't seen that either.
That had Yul Brynner in it.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about an old series.
I like the new series with Westworld, but unfortunately, the newer ones don't come out till 2019.
Are they in a Doctor Who timeline?
The next one's Christmas.
And then it'll be shadowed by Rick and Morty when it comes out. So,
I don't even know what Westworld is.
How do you not know what Westworld is?
I don't. I don't watch TV. I only stream stuff.
I'm the same way.
Okay. Well, I've never. I don't know.
That's how I saw Star Trek Discovery, which I'm not even going to get into.
It's crap. Complete crap. Ugh. Hate it. Hate it.
It is complete.
I have not seen it yet. Shit. I've got 3 episodes downloaded, but I haven't watched any yet.
7 episodes of it. It's not getting any better.
It's crap. Okay. Yeah,
Orville's good. Yeah, somebody mentioned in the live chat. Orville's really good. I like Orville.
Orville's great.
Yeah, that's really good.
But there hasn't been a new episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's a much better series than Star Trek Discovery.
It is.
So, Christmas episode, is that where we get the new female doctor?
Yes, that's where you see Jodie.
So she's actually.
That's where you see her at the end of the episode.
Oh, but she doesn't. Okay, but does he Does he regenerate?
He'll regenerate into her after his whole little adventure with the first Doctor.
And then when does that when does her series start?
Her series will start in April.
March,
yeah. I don't even think they've started filming yet, have they?
Star Trek.
They've started filming.
Doctor Who is so long in between series. That's just like.
Yeah, and then sometimes they'll have
canceled.
years like last year where they don't release a single episode.
Well, they changed up their format, which was before, they ran almost year round, and then they had their Christmas special, and then the Doctor would regenerate at Christmas kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now they're limiting it to sort of 13 episodes per series, and then a regeneration at the Christmas special, followed by a new series beginning at the turn of the new year.
I'm glad they got
Sounds
rid of Bill.
complicated.
I could not stand her. She was the worst companion. I just think about her.
Who?
Bill.
Bill Potts?
Whatever her name was.
It was Bill Potts.
This last one. Was that her last name?
Yeah.
That was Amy Potts.
No.
Amy's last name.
You're thinking of Amelia Pond.
Oh, Pond.
Yeah, Amelia
right.
Pond.
I liked her. But no,
everybody liked her. She was voted the
she was great.
Sexiest companion of the Doctor. And there's a clip of the Graham Norton show where they asked her about that. And they established that her character was just a badly paid stripper.
Oh, she was cute.
No, she's a cutie.
Yeah.
But Matt Smith wore higher heel boots when she was companion because she's only an inch shorter than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Amy Pond. I like Clara to a degree.
I actually couldn't stand Clara.
A lot of people's like
I hated Clara. I loved Clara and I hated Clara just because of the lack of character development they could have done.
Yeah, I liked when she started. I think that was she was better when she started than at the end.
Think of how she started, like legitimately started, not when she's first introduced, when she's, like that, I don't know how to properly phrase it, a fragment within his timeline that's been reconfigured into a Dalek.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool though.
That was cool. Like everything about her leading up to her actual appearance was really cool. And then her actual appearance was really, really cool because in the first episode where you actually legit meet Clara Oswald, she's revealed to be cleverer than the Doctor.
Yeah.
Because she got downloaded into that matrix.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Where did they go with that?
Nowhere.
Where did they go with her meeting her grandson? Nowhere.
Yeah, there was a lot of dead ends that they had on that particular.
Yeah, and then they realized they made all these fucking dead ends and all these plot holes and all these paradoxes, and so they decided, fuck it, we'll just make her immortal.
They killed her.
Well, still less plot holes than Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
I actually like Donna.
I
not
wasn't
many
a big
people
fan of
do.
Donna. She was a little. I mean,
I
liked her
her
at the end. She was kind of badass, but now Rose will always be my favorite companion.
Rose is everyone's favorite companion.
She was awesome.
No, mine's
most tear-jerking companion.
Oh, by far.
Mine's Amy.
Amy's the cutest.
And
Amelia Pond was definitely the best companion in my opinion because they established a chronology where you could kind of understand the Doctor's family tree. That's what I liked about it. And if you watch the first 5 episodes of him meeting Amelia Pond,
do you know?
You'll notice with slight hints about it is that the first 5 encounters of him and Rory and Amelia Pond, they're actually out of sync. He's meeting them after they've already died.
Do you know Rory? Do you know what show he's on now? The actor that plays Rory?
No.
Legends of Tomorrow.
There's a season 2 to that?
No, he was the.
Oh, you mean the first season? Yes, I knew he was in the first season.
Yeah, he's in the third. He's in this season too.
Yeah, he played the Time Guardian or whatever.
Yeah, the captain of the ship. Yeah.
I didn't
even catch that at first. I'm like, I know this. I recognize this guy, but it was.
I recognize his face. I know it has something to do with time.
Yeah, but his accent was so different, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what we got here? Somebody's sharing a link here. Sarah's sharing a link. How can I want to play this, but I'm streaming. I can't. I don't know what it is. She says Happy Halloween.
No.
It's her Chatterbait account.
Don't do it. It's a trap. It's a trap. You know what happened last time.
Oh. But
I
gotta save the link for later.
Well, then save it for later. Don't fuck up your hang up now.
Somebody
yeah,
save
Steve,
the link.
you still got 3 more hours of this shit.
Oh wait, I can copy the link address.
Well, I can just as easily change the subject because apparently a bunch of people want to know my opinion on stuff I don't want to talk about, but I'm willing to do it just because this hangout is dead.
It is dead.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Canadians killed it.
Go for it.
I'm opening another. Now I can actually see this link.
Thanks, Obama.
I'm gonna get, but I'm not a Doctor Who fan, so the last 10 minutes just was like.
You're just not even.
I kind of figured that
There we
how
go.
quiet you were.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, there's something not quite right with you.
Sorry,
You don't like
Some-
hockey. You hate.
Heretic. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Unlike your Canadian brothers and sisters, I will be more than happy to welcome you down to Florida, where we can not watch Doctor Who together.
And you can watch the endless streams of news commentary about what Florida Man has been up to.
Why do I have this created with Filmora trial version all across the butt? This is so not right, Sarah. This is not right.
See, Florida's nice. I just wish you could get rid of all the right-wing nut jobs, but
Florida is the Manitoba of the United States.
Sarah, let me know. I'm gonna have to show you how to hack Filmora.
That makes 2 of us heretic because I live in Florida as well.
Sorry, that was buffering.
Listen. Heretic, what they don't tell you.
Sorry.
What don't they tell me?
What they don't tell you is that they actually sell repellent at Walmart for that, so you're covered.
Okay, because I've spent lots of time in Georgia. I just haven't been to Florida since 1987. So
Understood. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get you taken care of.
And I've never been further than Orlando, but I was 15 and we were driving back to our hotel and I saw my first ever hookers on a corner in Orlando on the way back from Disney World, I think.
It almost sounds like you're preparing for like The Walking Dead or something.
I don't know. I just remember being, "Hey Mom, look, those are hookers," and they're like, "Shut up and go have a nap."
Oh fuck! My grandpa used to take me on tours of the city. Look, here's where all the hookers hang out. They try to get me over here, but Grandma would kill me if I picked one of them up.
192.
I'm 8.
Yep. No, apparently there was some drama going on with Dragnot having an absolute clusterfuck on his channel with G-Man. So who here wants to talk about that nonsense and how it should have been avoided?
You mean his Emperor Atheist whole debacle?
Yeah, that thing. Now, I only saw bits and pieces of it, but I only need to pay attention to one aspect of it, and that's that G-Man was actually allowed to just steamroll over people.
I missed the whole thing, so I'm out of it here.
Yeah, I didn't see it either, but that's not cool.
Well, apparently, I don't know why, but apparently G-Man lost his collective shit, and as a result, whenever DPR Jones wanted to actually say something, G-Man would, interrupt him in the most rude way possible, and it just kept going on and on and on, so much so that I'm at work at this point, and I even screamed at my phone, either mute the fucker or tell him to shut up on his own. I'm saying it to my phone, expecting a response.
Reds, did you not learn from your whole Shani incident not to be looking at this shit at work?
Well,
yeah, I'd have thought you'd have learned when Drag was playing that video about Shani.
Okay, being that it was, a group thing, I didn't expect anything that would have been a problem. But apparently I was fucking wrong. And what ended up happening was that I ended up seeing shit that really irritated me. I'm like, okay, so you're essentially allowing him to steamroll over everybody, and he's just being quiet on it. Now, it's his hangout. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But if it was my hangout, I would have done one of two things. I would have muted him, or I would have booted the fucker out. Because,
well, Dragon's policy when it comes to G-Man is that you have to treat him with kids' gloves. The guy is a petulant brat. He is a 16-year-old girl trapped in a 42-year-old male body. That's what he is.
At what point, though, are we giving him a pass for essentially being a dickhead?
Oh, no, nobody's giving him a pass.
Well, yeah, they do give him a pass. I don't bother with G-Man for that very reason.
Yeah.
He's not competent enough to have a conversation with.
I think that the very act that we have to give him special provisions in a hangout where it's, okay, you get to overtalk people, you get to have your say, you get to present the 11th rendition of the newest version of the safe story. That's kind of indicative that, look, we all understand G-Man is touched. There really isn't much more that needs to be said beyond that, is that the guy is touched.
Dragnot likes that type of hangout. I don't anymore.
Yeah.
G-Man doesn't come in here.
There's two ways that you can handle it. You can either allow G-Man to join and give him a bit more leeway than other people.
Actually,
him from joining.
Well, actually, yes, on the second note to the first. The reason being is because I know children that will have a more productive conversation than that guy. So it's possible, even for kids. And if that guy has a childlike mentality, if he really is just a 10-year-old trapped in a 42-year-old body or whatever
you're being generous with 10-year-old.
Okay, well, regardless, the fact is that I know it is possible for him to shut the fuck up and let other people talk. It's not that difficult. And the fact that he won't do it is not because of some limitation on his end. He's just being a fucking asshole. And in that case, I would say don't give him a pass at all. I would say just very, very, very sternly say, G-Man, just once. Interrupt people again, and I will fucking boot your ass. And leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is a kind of added effect of the sort of distance provided over the internet. Like my boyfriend has stated that, we should go on a trip. We should go visit G-Man. We should go down to New Jersey or something. Go to his place of work. Why? Why would I do that? But, if we were to go down to New Jersey and G-Man were to show up, if he were to say something out of line, he'd probably get, his teeth kicked in by my boyfriend. And I'd, stand by and watch it happen. And then let him talk about it afterwards about how he got the shit kicked out of him by a gay guy. Not just a gay guy, but a bottom bitch. But
here's the thing. I did make a make a promise to myself to kind of not talk about G-Man ever again because fuck that guy. But I'm gonna break that right now because I actually, somewhat care for drag, somewhat, not too much.
Kind of already broke that.
Yeah, I know. So, with that being said, though, I'm just saying, if we're going to allow him into Hangouts, which I'm not saying kick him out, I'm saying make him follow the same rules that everyone else has to follow when it comes to how you conduct yourself in said Hangout. So, don't overtalk people. Don't be a fucking douchebag. Shut up when the fucking, owner of the call tells you to shut up. That's not your hangout to fucking steamroll. That kind of thing. Just the bare bones fucking basic. If we are going to give him a pass on a few things, fine. But let's not give him a pass on the bare bones basic, which is don't be a fucking douchebag like that.
Right. As soon as he gets that way, he needs to be ejected. That's
exactly. man-child or not, I really don't care at this point.
Yeah.
And I
start
think
behaving like an adult, and if he can't do that, then don't talk to him.
Exactly.
I
And
don't talk to him. I don't go into his room. I have nothing to do with G-Man or Ronnie these days.
Yeah.
They literally are irrelevant to my channel. I might bring them up every so often to mock, but other than that, they're just they have no effect on my channel whatsoever. They're just irrelevant to me, utterly irrelevant.
Yeah, Rim stated it, in the live chat. G-Man was literally screaming. When you get to the point that you become so hot-headed that you're actually screaming at your computer or phone or wherever the fuck he was doing, you gotta go.
But see, Drag likes G-Man when he gets to that stage. He finds it entertaining.
Well, then I'm gonna have to have a talk with him because that is not entertaining. That
No,
if this,
it's not. But I mean, if he likes to see it, that's his thing. To me, it's just boring. I find no interest listening to G-Man go off anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's not entertaining. It's more frustrating than everything else. I would say, for everyone who's actually trying to get a word in edgewise, because I know DPR was trying over and over again, staying really calm, saying, G-Man, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you that. He would not even get 2 words out, and then G-Man would interrupt him. And then would start making threats saying, I'm going to sue you, or come to Jersey and say that to my face. All you guys are fucking cowards and whatever. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's touched.
Definitely touched.
He's touched. I mean,
touched by what exactly?
He's not gonna. If he ever listens,
Common decency is dead.
Like,
Whatever it is,
what are they saying? What are they trying to say? That was molested.
Put it that way.
Well,
yeah, it's kind of pathetic.
I wish I could hang out longer, but I got to go to my government shill job in the morning. So,
all right, thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for letting me join, Steve.
Anytime.
You've no excuse. That's where I'm going in the morning.
What?
I'm going to my government shill job in the morning.
Oh, you have one of those too? Huh?
Yeah, Aboriginal Affairs.
I wish I had a government shill job.
Department of Environmental Management.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might actually be meeting with
Come a flat earther
in a couple weeks.
Oh. No flat earther for me. No.
That's good.
Anyway, you guys have a good night.
Yep. Thanks.
See yous.
All right.
Can I answer a question in the chat?
Yeah.
What was G-Man gonna sue over? Because the douchebag is a fucking idiot and can't accept that he doxed himself, and so he's saying that other people are doxing him every time they say his name, even though he said his name himself on his channel multiple times.
No, it's because he doesn't know what you can actually sue people over. If you admit to a crime or what could apprehensively be a crime and other people report that, yes, what you did is criminal, that is not slander. You cannot sue them. You cannot charge them. He doesn't understand that. It's just an empty threat because he has zero understanding of what his rights are and how the law works.
He's learned everything about the law from Ronnie. And by the way, he uses this doxing shit as a weapon, and I'm done with it. Gary Moore is his fucking name. That's what he came to the community as. That's what he has on his PayPal. Gary fucking Moore. That's his name.
You can look up what his marathon
There's no
time
doxing
was.
somebody when you have your name out there because you gave it to people and you have it on your PayPal, Gary Moore. I'm done with it. It's not a weapon anymore. Everybody knows your name. Everybody will be using your name. I recommend people using your name. I would care more about somebody who accidentally, dox themselves. I don't want to use people's names. But he came to the community with his name, said to call him Gary. All his things, say on it, Gary Moore. His name's Gary Moore. There you go. Done. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Well, on top of all that,
not
Steve,
a fuck was given.
Well, we can say on top of all of that shit was he also released on 3 separate occasions where it is he works.
Yes. Yeah. By his own doing, because he was a dumbass and people weren't, he wasn't listening.
No. Even at people telling him, "Don't do this," you're about to show where you work.
I got no sympathy for that either.
Did it anyways.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Not by his own doing. It was even just totally ignoring any sort of provision or any sort of security provided by people in the hangout.
Yeah.
3 times. He didn't learn. We all know where he works. We all know what his name is. Heck, I know where he lives.
Yep, so do I. And I know where he works, and guess what? I have no desire to visit any of those places.
Not a fuck was given. I had somebody message me the other day, and I'm not going to say whom, but I had some message me saying, "Hey, I know where Ronnie works. Do you want to know?" I'm like, "No, I don't care. I don't want to know this information." But I know Gary's name because that's the name that he came to the community with. And it's on his PayPal. It's on everywhere else. It's been on his marathon things. He just uses a weapon. And if everybody starts calling him Gary Moore, the weapon's gone. He won't have that over anybody's head anymore. What is he going to do? Threaten to kick you out of his hangouts? Nobody goes in his hangouts anyways. Don't start calling him Gary.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to know where. I wouldn't really care to know where True Empiricism works because I don't really like Popeye's chicken to begin with.
Yep, correct. So also, I want to point out something because it actually it does more harm than good when we do this. But it was said that we give G-Man passes, and we give him certain ways out, or we don't attack him on certain things because reasons. Well, such a thing was actually done by me at one point, and I see the damage I can do because he ends up getting away with it in a sense.
Yeah, he ends up thinking about you in the shower is what happens.
Well,
that's pretty weird.
Obviously. So I'll get to that in a moment, trust me. So during the debate I had with him when it was being moderated by Hannah, I was actually told not to bring up a few things, otherwise he would fucking lead the debate. And I so wanted to bring it up. I wanted to bring up the safe issue, and I wanted to bring up, hey, listen, you are down to one or two things. You're either a fucking thief or a fucking liar. Pick one. And if all sin is equal in the eyes of God, what does that fucking make you? And then I also want to bring up how he was literally blaming other people for his own fuck up. In other words, he was bearing false witness. So if all sin is equal in the eyes of God, what the fuck does that make you? That pretty much makes you a fucking hypocrite. So before you tell other people to read their Bible and do what it says, I recommend you start with your fucking self. Otherwise, shut the fuck up.
The difficulty there is that he acknowledges and relishes the fact that he's a hypocrite.
Yeah, he has. And he actually even says his brothers in Christ will condemn him for it, but he doesn't care.
No.
He's actually said
it's not only that he doesn't care, it's that he takes that as a kind of weird sort of confirmation of his religious views.
Did you hear
that just shows how right he is, that he is so sinful that he requires salvation and a savior.
Oh, God.
And so the more you criticize him, the more right he is.
Did you not hear his video where he was actually saying that he's a vindictive type and he does these, vindictive things? And
yeah. Let me respond to something, then I'll actually respond to that. I told Reds I'd finish his GoFundMe if he face revealed. Money first, and then you get the face reveal. I'll probably get thrown in prison because my face is illegal in 17 U.S. states. Well, now 18. But yeah,
that was internationally illegal.
It's worth the risk. So money first, and then you get the face reveal.
I mean, seriously, your face looks like a testicle with teeth.
I did mention your GoFundMe, and I did put the link in the video description, by the way.
Thank you. In my face is the reason Crypt Death is a thing. Anyway, so
it's like the portrait of Dorian Gray, except more disgusting.
But since we're shilling for Reds, I also I'll shill if anyone wants to do a $1 super chat. That'd be awesome too. Pay for my defunded videos.
Sounds good.
All right, demonetized videos, you mean?
All my things. So, most of them have been demonetized for the most part. I mean, I'm still getting a revenue, but it's not what it was. But it's okay. It's been made up from other sources. But if somebody wants to donate $1, that make up. Really, I make 70 cents a video. So if somebody does $1, boom, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So to answer that, and then we'll get back on point. Yes, money first, and yes, I'll do a face reveal. Why the fuck not? Anyway, the second bit of total hypocrisy from G-Man is his supposed call out he did of me, essentially I'm a bitch. I have lady parts, whatever the fuck that means. No balls, dick small. I'm shooting blanks, and I don't think he means what he thinks it means.
What does he think he thinks it means?
I mean, it's like, what does he actually think it means? That's my question.
What else can it mean?
Because,
and by the way, why was he thinking about that in the shower? That's what really was.
No. The shower thing was for me. What was it, Red? Like a year and a half ago now.
I mean, it's like,
it was
okay,
when,
so you're talking.
When Live Live was relevant.
I just remember him saying that he was thinking about you in the shower.
That guy.
Yeah, it was. He
was the runner-up for Dumb Fuck of the Year after Tyrannis or something.
Yeah, correct. He was talking about my dick.
I never thought about you in the shower. I just want you to know that. Nothing personal.
Well, the weird thing was Cliffjumper had noted
now,
that
it will happen next time, because now that I've thought about it, next time I go take a shower, I'm going to think about you.
Steve, now that you mentioned that, I'm very disappointed.
He was thinking about Reds in the shower. Cliffjumper appropriately noted, what did G-Man mean by that?
I don't know.
Was he picturing Reds having a shower, or was he in the shower himself imagining Reds while in the shower?
That's called
So in the first scenario, you can imagine G-Man picturing Reds in the shower while G-Man is sitting there in an armchair smoking a cigar.
All right, let me get this thought out before I throw up in my mouth, okay? So the thing is that he was talking about my dick, saying that I'm a bitch because apparently Hana bosses me around and that I didn't get up in his face when I was getting pissed off. There's a few things on that. One, since he's a Christian, isn't he supposed to praise the person that turns the other cheek and doesn't resort to violence and that kind of shit?
Nope.
And secondly, I mean, obviously not. That would basically make you a hypocrite otherwise. And secondly, there was a reason why I didn't royally knock him the fuck out, and that was because, one, a bunch of people paid a lot of money to make this trip happen, and bailing my sorry ass out of jail definitely wouldn't have been a good time. Some people actually flew over a fucking ocean to go to New York to have a good time. Now, me beating the living shit out of G-Man would have been a bit of a downer, just saying.
Not really.
To be fair, that would have been a good time.
That would have been a good time.
Well, for me, at least.
In retrospect, that would have been made for a great anecdote. Do you remember when that guy who looked like the inside of someone's asshole beat up G-Man?
Ocean got excited thinking somebody was flying over him.
I mean, and also because, Hana said, hey, listen, G-Man's going to say some pretty retarded and very sexist shit. Don't beat him the fuck up, please. And I'm like, okay, fine, I promise, whatever. So apparently, he doesn't give a fuck about, not resorting to violence, something that Jesus supposedly taught. But he also doesn't give a fuck about promises that are to be kept. I got to
tell you, though, I'm so over this trip from New York. I've heard about it a billion fucking times. It's just I don't. There's nothing else to be said about it. I mean, G-Man is a fucking loser. He's just a bit. I have nothing really to do with him. I don't think you should have anything to do with him. You said you're not. Let's be done with it. I don't even want to continue talking about G-Man because it's so trivial.
Yeah. All right. Then I'll finish off by saying G-Man can go fuck himself.
Fine,
Yeah, I'll just finish off by saying G-Man can go fuck himself, and then we can move on to finding a flat earther for Arn Ra, which, by the way, good fucking luck.
It's been difficult.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Because, I want to get somebody who's not a Poe.
Flat earther for Arn Ra.
Yeah. Can I just say Poes drive me fucking nuts?
Everybody email Tila Tequila.
that would not be a bad idea. That would not be a bad idea.
That is pretty damn good.
You know what? That's a smart idea. I might do that, actually.
Let's get everyone in the GJC to email Tila Tequila to debate Arn Ra.
Because I don't think she's a Poe. I think she's a stupid.
No, of course she's fucking stupid. She's a reality star. There is no reality star that has made their fortune by being smart.
Because otherwise they wouldn't have to be a reality star.
Precisely.
If all the flat
earthers... The only exception is Dragon's Den and Shark Tank. Those are the only two.
If all these flat earthers are posed, don't any of them get together and talk to the point where they're like, yeah, we're bullshitting, and somebody doesn't anybody go, really? You guys are bullshitting? I mean, it's like I don't hear anybody ever say I was in a group of flat earthers and they were all talking how much bullshit it is. Do Poes never break their Poe behavior or what?
I hate Poes. Poes should be illegal. Drives me fucking nuts.
But I mean, do they never break their form or what?
We're gonna have to call the internet police because yes, Poes are pretty much everywhere, and I can only think of a handful of like legit flat earthers. One person that I would recommend you go after is a guy by name of Flat Earth Photography, and he is a legit flat earther. He champions the P900, except when it debunks his bullshit, because I own 2 of them, motherfucker. And he is a special kind of stupid, and he likes to think he has all the photographic evidence in the world, but, kind of a ace up the sleeve here. I can go ahead and give Aaron Raw my footage and my videos from my P900 to shove right up his ass. Boy, would I pay money to see that.
Flat Earth Photography. I don't know who he is, but if you know who he is,
wasn't there a guy who was trying to debunk the Antarctic expedition in the land of the midnight sun? Like there was time lapse. There was a time lapse photography of them, at the South Pole in the midnight sun, basically following the shadow for 24 hours.
Someone just messaged me saying that there's 3 flat earthers that are running a campaign, a GoFundMe, to go to the South Pole, and he's convinced that they're getting their vacation paid for, but they're supposed to go down there and see.
These are just people who really want to see penguins.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Oh no, my GoFundMe. My GoFundMe is definitely to pay for my vacation. I'm not bullshit you guys.
Round, are you?
Yeah. I'm not trying to demonstrate the Earth is round. I just want to go to New York. That's pretty much it. So if you guys want to help out with that, first one to donate $1,000 gets to see my hideously ugly, completely against humanity face.
Oh, Hannah has shown me your face.
And have your eyes healed yet?
No.
Exactly.
I'm still clinically blind.
We should start our pay.
It was like the aftermath of watching a pit bull tear apart a rat.
That's a pretty accurate description.
Do you think Flat Earth is taking a dive, or do you think it's pretty stable? I think it seems to be pretty stable lately.
It's a niche market, let's put it that way.
Well, here's the thing with Flat Earthers. Flat Earth will definitely be stable with the people who are terminally stupid. All right, there is definitely no way around it. Like, for example, Tex. Tex said it himself, and he said it the best possible way. He said during the Falcon 9 landing, when he said that was fake, and I showed my footage of it, he says, "It doesn't matter what you show me, I will always believe it is fake." At that point, the conversation is over.
Right.
So Flat Earth will always be the case for that guy. There is no talking to him. So for people like him, it's a lost cause. But for other people, I don't think they're going to get any more members, let's say, because there's so many people now actively debunking this crap on a daily basis that you would have to be pretty fucking retarded in order to get suckered into it, knowing that the answer to all of their supposed problems are right there online.
We had Sean G in the live chat. He's pretty ignorant of a lot of science. He's a flat earther.
Get him in here. Let's talk.
No, I don't think he's still there now. He actually came in the other day. I mean, I got him props. He had balls enough to come in. He held his own as far as that, but I've never met a flat earther that could actually tell me anything about the science. Oh, Nim, you can keep the spanner.
Because the science doesn't exist. That's the thing. There is no science in flat Earth. Now, I've been given a whole bunch of promises saying that they're going to make a flat Earth model that works with predictions, that works with science, that matches our observations. And I'm like, oh, can't fucking wait. Where is this thing? And well, I've been waiting for 2 fucking years, and first it's not the AE map, then it is the AE map, then it's this weird fucked up, sort of rounded at the edges flat map, and then it's like, oh my fucking god.
But there's got to be a point where when we start going to Mars, there's got to be a point where, where we start like there's just going to be no way that the human race could ever say that it's flat. I mean, we'll be sending people up in space all the time.
Yeah.
What are these flat earthers going to do then? Go, oh, okay,
yes, they will be able to for a very short time. Because what will happen is all the people who think the Earth is flat are going to end up living in the Mad Max universe, whereas everyone else will be living on Mars.
Well, I can't wait for the day that Blue Origin finally gets their shit together and starts sending just regular people to space. Essentially, they have a rocket that is suborbital and is fully reusable, capsule and everything, which is fucking awesome. So what I would want to do, even though they don't fucking deserve it, but I want to see the look on their faces, I would like to take one of these well-known flat earthers with me on that capsule so they can see the curvature of the Earth for themselves from fucking space. And then I'll be like, and then I basically want to ask them right after that on my own camera so that they can't fucking edit the footage after the fact. I want to say, so, is the Earth fucking round?
They'll be like,
and they're going to tell you that you've done something to the window to make it look that way, or it's a video projection on the window.
Oh, I've heard everything. I have heard round windows, like not just when I say round windows, I mean a flat window just cut in a circle will somehow be part of the conspiracy.
Well, they can't explain why they don't have any
at that point,
on the ground.
You have to consider it costs $1 million with the SpaceX program to send somebody to the moon. For $10 million, we could probably send all these flat earthers to the sun.
That would be entertaining.
I would say let's not even pay for it. Let's wait for a rocket launch that was going to happen anyway, so it's already paid for and stuff.
So
let's not put them in the capsule. Let's just duct tape them to the outside and say good luck.
Has any of them bothered to try to explain the Chinese satellite that's going to be coming down in the next couple months? They think that somebody just like lobs some junk over in the air that's going to be coming down. I mean, how they
we could bring it down on them.
I mean, my last video is now up to 25,000 views right now, and I am amazed at how many people are saying that I faked the ISS transit, even though they can all do the observation themselves.
No, I asked a serious question. I want to answer my question. What are they going to be saying when the Chinese satellite comes down? Are they what's their possible excuses then? Are they going to be like, oh, we're just raining down junk from outer space by launching it somewhere, and then, I mean, what do they think that's going to be when that satellite comes down?
It got dropped out of a secret government airplane or some shit.
I have a legit answer. And the answer will be, it depends on which flat earther you talk to, because each one of them is going to have a different answer to that question. And they're never going to converge on the same answer.
Well, Sanji accepts satellites exist.
What is their channel, Reds?
But he thinks that they are suspended in air.
My channel?
Yeah.
My channel is Red's Rhetoric.
Okay, just checking.
The day I have a flat earther explain to me orbital mechanics for a flat Earth, then I'll believe. I'll be like,
well, remember, Steve, you can just launch. You can launch straight up and just magically stay in the fucking sky because reasons.
Because density.
Yeah, because density.
Buoyancy.
Yeah, I'm still trying to have.
I still think that we need to get everybody to message to Tequila.
I'm down with that. I think she would debate Aaron.
I don't know.
Either she'll debate Aaron, or Aaron's going to show up on a reality show. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think I got banned from Odd TV already, and I didn't even enter into the chat because I'm not seeing an option for me to actually type anything. So I think I'm already blocked from there, and I didn't even do anything.
Well, I mean, I'm sending emails to people. I reach out to a lot of people. How do you think I got those two physicists that have agreed? Dr. Hankey and Dr. Lachey. I think that's how that's it.
Well, you got to think, these people are wanting answers, but they are really hesitant about coming onto a hangout that is offering those answers.
Because I don't think they actually want answers. They already think they have the answer.
Exactly. There is no honest pursuit of the truth here. That's why I say flat Earth is a cult-like mentality or a religious-like mentality.
Absolutely.
Fuck the facts if the facts don't fit what you want.
And the same with conspiracy ridiculousness. And it's all the same kind of mentality that I'm extra special because I could see through the bullshit and see the real thing that's going on. And it's just the same as I'm special because I know I've got the right God. It's the same kind of mentality.
Which leads me to a question there. It leads me to a question. So they want to say that they're special, that they can see through the lies and deception and whatnot. Okay, that's all well and good. Well, if you can see through the lies and deception, that means you have experience in where I want to be right now. Show me how to see what you're seeing. How far do I have to shove my own head up my ass in order for me to see what you're seeing? Tell me the answer, damn it.
Somebody had posted something in the Great Debate Community Forum, Flat Earth. There was Sean actually in it, but I'm explaining to people that we can discuss Flat Earth in the forum, discuss 9/11. I'm not turning it into a Flat Earth or 9/11. People come over and spew their conspiracy crap. That's not what the Great Debate Community is about. We're not going to argue whether the Earth is flat with a flat Earther in the Great Debate Community. We can do it on Hangouts, but I'm not. As soon as we turn that over to that, then flat earthers everywhere be coming in and just posting memes and doing their troll bullshit. Not going to happen. So the Great Debate Community, we are going to debate certain things like flat Earth or 9/11 in the forum itself. You want to do it on air, of course, that's fun, but I don't want to turn the actual community in. Then I think most people have understood that.
Well, the thing is that I told people that if they want to go down that road, just spew it on an actual live hangout. The one thing I hate, and by the way, Kaiser and Part-Time Vegan, they've all succeeded in making my comment section in one of my posts about the space station transit pure fucking cancer.
I banned Kaiser from my hangouts. I had no choice.
I had to turn off comments on that post because it was now going 300 deep, and I was not fucking having it anymore.
Yeah, Kaiser's lost his fucking mind. I don't want him around. He posted some crap that was just ridiculous. And I have a new policy. This is my own personal policy. It has nothing to do with the GDC. Anybody else? I'm going to say this right up front. This is just me personally. If somebody starts running that crap with me, where they're calling me dishonest and a liar and all this other shit, I'm just going to block them from my circles. Because I'm not going to spend my time wasting on their nonsense anymore. Defending bullshit stuff. Like Kaiser doing this every fucking time. He'll say a bunch of shit. He'll apologize because he's wrong. And then he'll do it over again 3 or 4 times a year. Enough. I've had enough.
If I can ask, what did he say that you were wrong about?
No, not that I'm wrong. I don't care if somebody says I'm wrong. He's too stupid to figure out how to get in a hangout. And I'll tell him where to go find the link, and he'll keep accusing me of blocking him, and not giving him the link. And saying that I have this. I'm like purposely keeping him out, or he'll be drunk. He'll be drunk as all shit in a hangout, and then he'll be like apologizing how drunk he was, and then he'll be in the live chat going, I can't get in. I'm like, yeah, he's probably drunk. And he's like, I'm not drunk. And he's just telling me, oh, that was offensive. I'm like, fuck you. Just fuck you. You're drunk all the time. You're obnoxious. You talk over people. You don't have any sense of decorum when people are speaking because you're so out of it. And you're telling me that I'm dishonest because I'm supposedly blocked you when I've never blocked you. And you post this in the Great Debate Community forum. No, I'm done. Because he just apologizes over. How many times he's done this now? So I have this new policy that if you're going to be that way, I'm just done with you. I'm not kicking him out of the community. I'm not blocking them for anybody else. Anybody else can have conversations, but I have a right on my own personal G+ to block people when I don't want to deal with them, and that's going to be the way it is for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold that against you. I don't know anyone who would. Well, besides, Kaiser
I'm sure
himself.
Somebody will, but it is what it is. People say, oh, well, Steve's just blocking people that are showing him to be wrong. No, I've never, ever blocked anybody for showing me to be wrong. Matter of fact, when people show me to wrong, I'm like, oh, shit, you're right. That's just the most idiotic thing in the world when people say, oh, well, you got blocked for showing Steve wrong. No, people like Charles Steptoe and Angela Martin, these guys, they never proved anybody wrong or even shown anybody wrong to begin with. They're just trolls, outright fucking trolls, and I just don't have I don't have the patience for it anymore.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming. He pulled that shit on my hangout, and I was actually trying to have someone what of a deal with our fuckhead that we actually had. See how that turns to kind of jump down their throats. All right.
I think you
still hear me just fine.
I don't know if you broke up for anybody else.
Yeah, it broke up for me too, but he's back.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm on a shit laptop that costs $100 off of Amazon. Anyway, so with that, I actually dealt with the same type of situation with Kaiser where he was just being rude, obnoxious, and jumping down people's throats. And you're right, there's no reason for that type of behavior. And also, there's no reason for calling you a fucking liar when he has no evidence to back that up. See, when I say that someone blocks me, I can actually prove that they fucking blocked me. Like what I did when I accused Crow777 of blocking me. I showed evidence that I was fucking blocked before I made the claim that I was fucking blocked. If someone wants to jump the gun like that, there's no excuse for that. You're essentially talking out of your ass knowingly, and you can go fuck yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so I totally agree.
It's not like it's a one-shot thing. I mean, this has been going on with certain people where every time there's a problem, they automatically jump on this, oh, you're lying, you're dishonest, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it's like, fuck you. I'm not going to sit there and defend myself anymore to people. I've been around too fucking long to do that. Now, if you want to say that I'm wrong or something, you want to have a discussion on it, come on in. I'm happy to do that. But I will not, I mean, if Red said something I didn't agree with, I'm not going to go, hey, Reds, you're lying. I'm not ever going to say that to him. Those words would never come out of my mouth because I have too much respect for him. And I just don't think they ever deliberately lie to anybody. Could he be mistaken? Sure, anybody can. But that's different from lying.
Yeah.
Red is not a liar. He's an honest person.
That's actually a pet peeve of mine when somebody's having a discussion and, somebody says something the other person thinks is wrong and they come out with you're lying. It's like, no, a lie is a deliberate thing. Somebody being woefully mistaken is not necessarily a lie.
Right.
So stop with the bullshit and figure out, are they just woefully mistaken or are they deliberately saying something that's incorrect? Then you may have a lie, but don't just, oh, well, that's wrong, so you're lying.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's been able to show that, I can tell you what, anybody in here, nobody's been able to show anybody that's in here has ever lied on anything. I mean, it just never has happened.
Yeah.
And everybody who says that they have always come back later and apologizes for it because they realize they were wrong. I've been attacked by people that I thought was a friend, and they later on said, I was wrong about it, and after we figured out the whole story. And
well, Steve, you did claim to be a practicing Orthodox Jew.
True.
Yeah.
Mazel tov.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also,
I got the hair for it.
Yeah,
also,
you do.
I just
you
want
do
to
not have the sideburns for it.
I'm also going to shamelessly plug once again for the dude in the live chat. Hey, if you put 1,000 in, you know what you get. You get this face. No one wants this face, but pay for it. You get it. Just remember that it's really fucking ugly, and you will probably throw up.
There's a joke there, but I will refrain from saying it because Hannah will kill me. Actually, I'm curious, so Hannah will kill me instead. So go ahead. No, I'm not going to say it because Hannah will fucking come up to Canada. She will take a fucking plane ticket up to the middle, right in between of the middle of butt and nowhere, and fucking kill me. So I am not going to say that.
Wow, that bad, huh?
On air, but.
How about this? Can you type it in the side chat?
Yeah. I'll type it in the side chat.
Thank you.
You're probably going to be more disturbed by it than Hannah would be pissed off by it. But
and by the way, people were talking about the growth. We have. I think we just hit or just about to hit 1,100 members.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, if it's been across the board. Video views have been down everywhere. And that's just not even the Great Debate community. That's everybody on YouTube, I think. I've noticed even the people like Holy Kool-Aid and all these other people with big channels, they're not getting the views that they once were. And I think it's because the way YouTube is promoting videos and notifications and other things. So
yeah,
it's just views are down across the board. It's also seasonal stuff.
They demonetize the video before it can get...
I got an email back on that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got an email back on that. They said, something to the effect that it may have violated a privacy information, but upon review of the video, it has been determined it didn't violate anything, has been reinstated. I'm like, my video had nothing to do with privacy concerns. It didn't. There was no privacy concerns in the video that I had, but they had to come up with something. But yeah, my video got reinstated. Yeah. But it's just like, really, we have to go through this hassle every freaking time.
Well, that's been coming up on some of the bigger channels, even like for instance, Philip DeFranco has been talking about it a lot, and he's saying, and even somebody as big as him is getting the runaround from YouTube, and he's getting things like, well, you just have to appeal it, and it's like, well, yeah, but if you appeal it, by the time it gets reapproved, you've lost all your initial views, and there's no mechanism being put into place to address the lost views. It's like, oh well, too bad, so sad.
Exactly.
And the one suggestion I just saw, and it wasn't him, I forget who, there's another channel I sometimes watch that's run by a copyright attorney called Lawful Masses, and he was doing a live feed, and he just talks about legal cases to do with copyright infringement. He also talks about other legal cases. He was talking about the weekend's indictments because as an attorney, he has access to view some of the documents, and was talking about them. And so as he's doing his live stream, he has someone working with him that takes, so say he covers one story, and then his assistant will take that part of the live stream and re-upload it as a separate video. And in the 20 minutes that he put it up, and it was immediately demonetized. And so the only suggestion that he'd been given, not by YouTube, by somebody else, was that when you upload the video, upload it as private, and then just watch it yourself. I guess it has to have a view to kick in the review of the bot. And then it gets demonetized, you review it, it gets reviewed, it gets remonetized, and then you release it. But who wants to go through all that?
That doesn't work for live streams.
It's kind of needless because the way YouTube is kind of fancying itself is they think of themselves as kind of like the new age of television, where we have all these people who are making all this content that everybody views. Eventually, yes, it will replace television, but advertisers don't. It's very weird because advertisers object to their product being placed on particular videos, and so they just have a bot that goes through it and sort of categorizes things. And it's completely hypocritical. It's completely hypocritical. Well, it's entirely reverse of, because they're trying to maintain the sort of television dynamic of advertising, and at the same time, by the way that they're implementing it, kind of working against that.
Well, here's basically what's going on. There's a double standard that YouTube is not addressing. I don't know the user's name. I'm not going to pretend to, but there was a charity video going on about the victims in Las Vegas. And so he said that, hey, all the ad revenue from this particular video will go to help the victims in Las Vegas. Not only that, but I'm going to be running my own charity so that we can help them even more so. That video got demonetized. And so when he was asking YouTube kind of in a nicer way, what the fuck, YouTube replied with, we're happy that you're trying to help, but we have a strict policy of not putting ads on anything that is about tragedies. Okay, then what the fuck is this? And a talk show that also has a YouTube channel.
I believe it was Jimmy Kimmel, I think, or one of those guys.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel or one of those guys. They were talking about the Las Vegas tragedy, and they had ads on their fucking videos from GMC.
Well,
so then you're like, okay, then what the fuck is this, YouTube?
Well, there's an even greater hypocrisy, which was one of Steve's videos was demonetized as being not advertiser friendly, and because it was a hangout where people were talking about their favorite porn stars. That's what the hangout was about. The ad that went out prior to that video being demonetized was, I don't know, some burger company in the United States advertising what they called the threesome burger. Yeah, you've all seen that commercial, haven't you?
So we were all...
I was just going to say the double standard part that you were talking about with whatever late night personality it was, because Philip DeFranco talked about this on his show, and he did some investigating and actually directly asked YouTube, and what it boiled down to is that the huge names, like if it was Jimmy Kimmel, I don't remember, but one of those guys, they all have private ad companies that do like that contact companies looking for advertising and facilitate this. And so it's not YouTube that's actually serving those ads. It's something contracted by those big names that YouTube has an agreement with them that they're allowed to do this. So even though
so the advertising company subcontracts it out to another company, which in turn directly contacts Jimmy Kimmel, which then posts it on YouTube.
That's right. And so while YouTube is saying that, yes, we have a strict policy that we don't put ads on tragedy-related videos, that's not true, but they're trying to get around it. But, well, that was their private company, and that's not really us.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's total bullshit. Yeah.
If you are using this platform, then you have to follow the same rules that everyone else has to follow. And so the moment that you start giving out get out of jail free cards, then you are being biased as fuck, and that makes an unfair as fuck platform. And by the way, Madison Scott is my favorite porn star. Fucking sue me.
This bitch has a master degree.
This platform has definitely changed.
Yeah,
it's still. It's still the most viable right now, but it's got so many problems.
It makes me glad that I never monetized anything. Like we just, and largely because mine's a specifically atheist show, and I'm always explicit, and I just figured from the get-go that it was going to be issue, so I just never did. Kind of glad.
All right, guys, it's time to call this to the quits.
All right, go ahead and shamelessly plug a few more things, and then I'll go. So, support the fundraiser for our trip to New York, and if that one dude in the live chat gives me $1,000, I will do a face reveal live in front of everyone, which will be most likely illegal. But if you guys want to go blind, I mean, there's no better way. So help us out. But if you don't want to go blind and just want to help out, give what you can. Thank you.
It's like Nicolas Cage after a Saw scene.
Yes.
All right, who else wants to put a shout out to the channel or anything?
Beyond the Trailer Park, Mondays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Yay.
All right, so anyway, tomorrow, I guess the Talking Shit Tuesday is back tomorrow. I have no idea what the hell the topic's going to be.
Isn't today Tuesday?
It's been a slow week. I mean,
apparently it's going to be abortion.
It's going to be on abortion?
And Ronnie.
One of the ones was what J.D. Kane said was, we're going to be talking about abortion, and Marcus Mooney dragged my name into it for some reason.
It's abortion, Rocket Ronnie's bullshit, and the shit with Russia.
Yes, the Russian stuff I'd be interested in, but I got to tell... JD, if you're ever listening to this, you need to find more better stuff. I'm just the whole Ronnie Gmail thing. It's not gonna carry TST any longer. I don't think it bores the shit out of people. It's boring. It's just fucking boring. I'm not gonna
because it's not like the abortion shit is gonna eat up most of the show. It's not like that's a contentious issue at all.
I mean, when Ronnie or G-Man say something extremely dumb, that's fine. Let's just talk about it. But at this point, we're beating a horse that's died so many times over. And I can't do it any longer.
The bones are being ground to dust.
Beating that dead horse.
It's just sad at this point. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching the Halloween haunt. I know it got off topic. I'm sorry, but it was still entertaining. I really thought it was fun. Appreciate everybody who did Patreon. Obviously it's been rough Patreons have been unfortunately had some financial setbacks, so that's gone down too, along with the monetizations. But it's still okay. But I mean, if people want to, even for $1, it means a lot. So let me know if you become a Patreon for $1. I actually get a message, but I do appreciate it. And obviously, you got Reds for his fund for his trip, so go donate a couple bucks for that too. And anybody else? Nope. Okay, thanks.
I have a Patreon, so
Harris got a Patreon too. So